I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party, Day 55, Sustainable Saturday, for all of you who enjoy our themes that we do. Yep. Non-stop, 14 hours a day, endless broadcasting. That's what we do. And the video log that we do on a daily basis has unearthed a pretty interesting little reality on this Day 55. We are being forced into a state of mind control through ritualistic behavior. There's no evidence this will actually prevent a virus. I've even said that the best you can get is if you double mask yourself, you'll be lucky enough to stop the smart dust from entering your lungs. Nanoparticles that have actual RFID chips built into them. That's why I wear masks. I don't want to breathe smart dust. But as far as viruses are concerned, they can go right through these things. There's no way this will stop a virus. So you're wasting your time with a mask and a virus. This is about mind control. This is about ritualism and controlling our brains and making us live in fear. Because of the need for a constant aware group of people at our show, we ask that you refrain from drinking fluoride. Try to avoid tap water or sugar waters, things that don't have purified water in them. Otherwise, you won't understand what I'm saying. You'll be sitting around talking about my tie or my hair. I saw Bill Gates drink feces and urine purified water. That was part of a ritual. Bill Gates was behind that whole thing about pushing the Rockefeller Foundation's plan to create a water purification system for the middle of the desert. Yeah. He's been doing a lot of work for the Rockefellers, and for a good reason. He pretty much is their puppet. The Rockefeller Foundation has been working on developing a plan to commit genocide for years. Ever since 1918, when they killed 100 million people, John D. Rockefeller was essentially the guy they blamed, but nobody could get any accountability from the Rockefellers. They were too powerful. And because of that simple fact, we're still seeing it again. 102 years later, they want another plan to vaccinate after they killed 100 million people with a bad vaccination pool in 1918. I told you yesterday that my local newspaper ran a story about the Spanish flu. They never mentioned the word vaccine once in the entire story. Even though vaccines killed 100 million people during that time period, they never even mentioned the word vaccine. So that must have gone out on the AP, and the Rockefeller Foundation probably said, we need to get ahead of this thing and pitch a story that the terrible Spanish flu was very much like today. So they're acting like it's okay to talk about it, but don't mention the fact that the Rockefellers killed 100 million people. Now, because your inability to talk about issues of the day, important issues of the day, prevent you from having a conversation, I do mute people that aren't able to actually talk about politics. There's another new rule I'm imposing. If you're a Democrat or Republican who are actively still supporting those two parties after all the crap we've gone through and Donald Trump shutting down the economy for no reason, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the show. We don't need Democrats or Republicans anymore. If you haven't made your decision to stay with a third party, then get the hell out of here, okay? Thank you. We are centrists. We're people that are trying to actually save America and unite the country. And we can't unite the country while you're dividing it. If you're in here to talk about how great Michael Flynn is, even though he's a Russian collaborator, go away, okay? If you're here to talk about William Barr as though he's some wonderful guy, go away. He's a Russian collaborator. If you're here to brag about how great Trump is doing during this time of troubled time in our society, at best, I will give you this. Donald Trump is slowly waking up. Slowly. He admitted recently in a public gathering that 66% of New Yorkers are getting it by staying at home.
Mike knows about it, and Mike has done what he has to do. I think he is on an airplane going to some faraway place, but you'll be able to ask him later on. But they've taken all of the necessary precautions. I understand Mike has been tested, Vice President, and he tested negative.
Mr. President, but if this can happen here at the White House, two people tested.
It can happen anywhere.
It happened. He said, what?
You see where it happens.
Still confident going back to work.
No, because, well, then it would happen anyway, whether you did go back to work or whether you didn't go back to work. In fact, I saw a statistic come out of New York yesterday that was pretty strange, that most of the cases are coming from apartments and coming from homes. What was that all about? I think they said 66%. Did you see that? That was given by Governor Cuomo.
So 66% of the people that are getting it are coming from inside of an apartment where they stayed all alone and didn't go out. That is not a communicable disease, folks. That is something else. And now I'd like to introduce what that could be. We're dealing with a very dangerous situation on our hands, where our country is dealing with a multitude of factors like the coronavirus and other things that are happening at the same time. And we cannot possibly isolate this as a possible corona or any other thing until we find out more. We have not set up safe alternatives to the 5G system we have today. There are no limiters or Faraday shields on the 5G system we have today. We don't have the 5G plus system that I'm promoting here. We have a system that has been laid out raw with 450 volt capacitors in them, which could easily start a dangerous fire, let alone cause radiation burns. And because our country refuses to do any testing for safety on this, we have to assume that the levels of radiation in New York, while people are sitting in their houses watching Netflix, are growing. The electromagnetic fields are growing. There's too much radiation going on. When they ramped up these 5G networks recently, and you've seen transponders in New York, they won't even let the public officials ask about what these are. New York City had 5G towers installed a couple of years ago. The local government said, what the hell are they doing? What's going on? Mysterious metal towers. Look at this. Here's a CBS News story about it. What the hell is...
At night, it lights up really nice.
Jose Lugo says these tall metal towers quickly popped up after Brooklyn Battery Tunnel toll booths came down.
We don't really know what's the purpose of this.
It's a $100 million MTA project full of secrecy, with 18 of these for the tunnels and bridges.
Okay, so these are 5G towers that are sitting there. They won't even tell public officials what they're doing, and they won't check for safety at all. So how do we know that our president, Donald Trump, is not raising an important issue? 66% of these people are getting it sitting in their houses. It's not a communicable disease. It's not communicable disease. It's actually something else. And we have to start asking those questions. Now, because we are dealing with dangerous capacitors in these units, they all have like 450 volt capacitors. 50 volts are safe. 450 easily could electrocute a population. Okay? So because we're not asking those questions, I'm coming up with an alternative, the 5G Plus network, which I hope you can promote as you promote this third party. Now, I'm not asking you to hurt a 5G tower. I'm not asking anybody to commit a violent act. But it is probably a case where we're dealing with units that are being powered up without proper regulators and limiters in them. Now, if they are amping up the electricity in the UK and in New Zealand and other areas, there's a good likelihood that these things are going to start fires. But instead, you're hearing the news claim that, oh, these conspiracy theorists are starting these things. I don't know anybody actively advocating anyone setting fire to these things. I know nobody who's actively advocating that. So maybe it's happening in India and Nairobi. I don't know, but it's very likely these things, because they're not tested for safety, are igniting themselves. Now, just last year, we heard the PG&E in California take blame for a series of fires, 300 of which started in all remote areas of California within a day. And PG&E said it was all because of electrical fires. So if PG&E is willing to take all the blame for that and never face criminal charges, you have to assume that something electrical may be happening here too. So let's look at the electrical possibilities and then sort it out. Let's not assume it's conspiracy theorists starting these fires, okay? Thank you. We are heavily integrated with lots of technology, and there's always going to be a boiling point. Now, you probably know that if you put a frog in a pan and turn the heat up to warm, right? That frog will be dead by the end of the day. You don't even have to heat it very much, just a little warmth, and that frog will die, because that water will accumulate heat and will slowly boil the frog. All right? That is what could be happening in America and around the world. Now, if you are interested in talking about this and are more than willing to discuss the safety features of the 5G Plus network I'm suggesting, come on into America's Third Party and tell a friend about it. If you're promoting violence, leave. If you're promoting division between the left and the right, leave. I don't mind accusing the left of something. I don't mind accusing the right of something. Let's take a look at this mayor of Chicago who is absolutely, she's off her grid. She's off the rails. Listen to what she said today. She's telling you she's going to use force against your freedoms guaranteed under this Constitution of ours. Listen to this. Now she's claiming that we're all part of a new world order.
We always make a deal, but it's going to be a different kind of deal, because it's got to be a deal that respects the values that in the new world order regarding local policing. And, well, look, I think it's going to be, we're going to make a deal. We always make a deal. Different kind of deal, because it's got to be a deal that respects the values that in the new world order.
All right, lady, you already made your deal with the devil. When you decided to be a part of a new world order, our enemy is a new world order, a globalist trying to take over our country. Our enemy is the people. are the people that are trying to control our president and our future presidents like Biden. Mumbo jumbo Biden, who can't even articulate a word without skipping a sentence. It's called Skynet, right? And we are going to stop it with this third party. How do I know that? I don't really know how I know that. I just know that I've known for years this is what I need to be doing, and this is why I'm doing it. All right? You can join me in my belief that we will succeed, or you can cower in fear and believe that we're going to fail and the Skynet's going to take over and they'll be pushing RoboCops on us left and right. Here's a RoboCop they're already putting in a park to monitor social distancing. Check this out. This is in Bishan Ang Mo Kyo Park.
Let's keep Singapore healthy. For your own safety and for those around you, please stand at least 1 meter apart. Thank you.
Okay, so it tells people to social distance and it will ticket people or call 911 if it happens. Well, you know, one way to find out where it is to put this location in a specific map location. Hang on. One moment, please. It is a small park with canopy dining in this location. Myeonggo Park. Bishan Ang Mo Kyo Park. Singapore. So it is in Singapore. It's in Singapore and it's a small park right here. So as you walk around the park, you are, required to abide by rules. If you are violating rules,
You have to pop them on a blue line.
gotcha. Do. If you are violating rules, the robot will come up to you and approach you and say you are social distancing violation, and we will call police or ticket you. The robot dog will be able to ticket people. Welcome to the New World Order. It's happening fast, isn't it? Faster than you expected.
Isn't that one of those DARPA dogs?
Yes, it is. They purchased them. So you can take a virtual stroll in the park, no problem. But you try leaving the park or social distancing violations, you will be arrested. And they will call 911.
Let's keep Singapore healthy. For your own safety
Okay.
and for those
So this item could very easily get hauled out and literally lassoed and strung up a tree. It wouldn't be very hard to lasso one of these things and hog tie it and hang it up in a tree because there's so many trees in this park. But I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just saying it's perfectly possible.
Oh, then you would see what it's really capable of.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sure other people have other solutions. Hey, the NSA's Skynet program may be killing thousands of innocent people. Let's take a look. And we're also going to take a look at a picture of a possible release of satellites. SpaceX. Okay. Welcome to the show, everybody, and welcome to the New World Order. As Miss Mayor Lightfoot suggested, This is the SpaceX Starlink satellite spotted over the Netherlands. Why do they need 20 satellites? That's what no one understands. Well, that's what...
It's like more than 20.
Yeah, it's a lot more than 20. We don't really know why they need so many, but ours is not to wonder why. Ours is just to wait to be fried.
Your goal is to have it like continuous, not even just 20, but...
They want to circle around the planet? Yeah, I figured they did. Please put eye drops. Who needs eye drops? Not me. Poor Joe. You need them for it's more than 20. You need them for a continuous link. So in other words, in order to get electrocuted, you actually have to stick your finger in an electric socket. Is that what you're saying? I don't have pink eye, no. You're telling us about your encounter with a guy who was loading your car in the Walmart parking lot while you were loading. You nearly jumped out of your skin. A guy approached you. Are you suffering from anxiety due to the... I don't have two pink eyes. That's ridiculous. No, you're full of crap.
My eyes look, I'm pretty tired.
No, it's just that these people are full of crap. I can see I don't have pink eye. You really have to send that video to me right now on top of all this other crap? Wow. So suffice to say, we still don't know what these mysterious metal towers are in New York. We also don't know why people who are getting COVID-19 in their apartments when they're socially isolated. We need to know more about that. All right? And yes, I promote this concept because nobody else will. All right. So you want me to take a look at a video that is almost irrelevant to what I'm talking about here? No. That's called ear rape. We don't allow that here. That's a kickable offense. Don't ever try to send a piece of crap in the room and expect me to watch it. Okay. Right. I've got the new bumper stickers. I'm working on it. The only people that can help me with the bumper stickers are the Cafe Press site, and I have to do it myself. And it's a fairly difficult site to navigate. And I'm still working on a new bumper sticker, so I'll get one in the 500 category soon. Thank you. Thanks for caring. I work on it every night, believe it or not. I actually am still trying to figure out how the system works. I don't have any help here, guys. It's just me. Sarah's going to give you a little bit of her time right now. But she's here just as a backup in our show. She's divested her interest in what we're doing for the most part. She just gives us a little bit of her time during the show, okay? Thank you. So if 3 children have died in New York from a coronavirus-linked inflammatory disease, you have to ask, is this in any way linked to the inflammation from radiation burns? Are children experiencing radiation burns? Now you probably know that a top doctor, Dr. Liu in Pittsburgh at the University of Pennsylvania, was working on an interstitium analysis of this disease, which is a new organ we just discovered, the interstitium, to find out why exactly people are getting lung damage from this disease, and he found out some things that were pretty serious. Okay, I'll look at this story a little later. But while he found out this information about cellular tissue and how it's damaged from this disease, somebody decided to kill him. And they're claiming it was his partner. Okay? Yeah. So how is that really possible? Let's take a look at the article. It looks like I'm not going to find it right away. Okay, I can't find it right now for some reason. Here we are. Got it. This is the story. A professor on the verge of a very significant coronavirus breakthrough is shot dead in a murder-suicide. Now, what he did was he was a cellular expert. He analyzed tissue. He wasn't coming up with a cure. He was analyzing tissue. And if he had found out that this tissue is actually irradiated and it's not dying from a germ, then that person may have been shot for his insignificant breakthrough. Bing Liu, a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, was found in his house on Saturday with a gunshot wound to the head, neck, torso, and extremities. They literally shot him to death. Detectives believe an unidentified second man known to the victim, found dead in his car, killed the academic before taking his own life. How did they know that Liu knew this guy, for one, if they were both dead? That's a logical improbability that they would know that he knew this person. And it's very highly unlikely that they had any investigation at all. They just called it a murder-suicide. So let's assume that person was studying the cellular tissue that is being damaged by the virus itself, and he found out, oh my God, it's radiation burn. Oh my God. And then somebody was listening in and made a few phone calls, and then boom, the guy's gone. So one simple fact is dead men don't tell tales. And double suicides are how they cover up crimes of murder. That's always the case. It happened with David Crowley and his wife and child out there in Idaho. Remember that? He was working on a film describing the FEMA camp control of our entire population called Gray State. He ended up dying with his wife and kid. They called it a murder-suicide, and there was no evidence of that. Remember Nancy Schaefer, the woman who exposed the Child Protective Services and how they worked with pedophiles to abduct children? They claimed that she and her husband were in a murder-suicide, that he somehow shot her in the back and then shot himself in the stomach. You know, it takes about 5-6 hours to die from a stomach wound like that. Why would he shoot himself in the stomach and sit there dying? I mean, come on. How could that be a murder-suicide? So all these people who are murder-suicided are usually somebody who's about to uncover the truth. Now, if you want to uncover the truth on your own without getting killed, the best way to look into it is to look at all the things that the government is trying to cover up right now. And ask yourself what they're trying to cover up, and that will get you to the truth. Okay? That will take you to the truth. That's how to find the truth. It's always under some place that's covered up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wet Lot Lizard? I'm sorry if that's true. I'm sorry that you have coronavirus. David, how much money will the Federal Reserve make from loaning our government all the stimulus money? A lot. Thank you, Chuck Norris, for saying I look lovely today. I have to look up who Redford White is, since Joe's girlfriend said David looks like that. Things are going well. Little Richard? No, I probably won't miss him, sorry. Canadian doesn't like Trump, good. The musician? I haven't really been watching the news, so. There's a 90% drop in air travel? Slow Mode still thinks they're all contrails, as does Sarah. You've seen both in the sky at the same time. What do you say is the difference, Misanthropy? Wow, Bob. Why? Little Richard was one of the first rock and rollers, I will agree with that. Okay, clicked up coming up. Never mind, I was distracted too. Oh, goodness, you guys have me laughing. I am very nearsighted. Okay. I guess I'll take a look at the news. China is flexing its military muscle, according to Bangladesh. Beijing is exploiting the COVID crisis to assert control of strategically vital South China Sea. The U.S. sent 3 warships in response. Voodoo says, Sarah, do you think papaya fruit, sheep, goats, and other things may also be self-isolating? I think, you know, some of those things might have been bitten by bats. Could be. Can you hear Amber? She's in the other room in the kitchen with David, yelling at him to feed me some wet food. Well, David is going shopping about once a week or so. Today we went shopping. Seems like we're at least once a week. Bobby Yamani, a mother arrested and her child ripped from her arms in Sydney, Australia for breaching lockdown laws that she was protesting. They don't have the same laws here in the U.S. in other countries as they do in the U.S. I went to Costco and bought cooked pizzas, not frozen pizzas. No, I don't know. Maybe it's a t-shirt. How is that? I look younger than when ATP first started. I think it's a t-shirt, and I've been taking good care of my teeth. And I have different glasses, maybe? I do have these awesome glasses that are pretty good. I like them because I feel like they go with my eyebrows, but still show my eyebrows small enough. Teeth are important. I need to still take some good care of my teeth. Well, David wears the mask going into most places. So no, it's not. I don't think he wears it just because they make him wear it. No. I think he wears it because he wants to wear it, because he also feels like they're spraying the skies with chemtrails, so he feels like the mask would protect him from chemtrails. True, Melrose. As is orthodontics. Braces are very expensive as well. I'm thinking of doing that, but don't know if I want to spend the money. Is that a question I have or a statement? Sounds like a question. Which I'm not at liberty to answer. You take off a mask as soon as you leave the store if they make you wear it. It's pretty interesting today. We kind of got stuck in a little bit. We left the island to go shopping, and as we were leaving the island, it's like, whoo! Traffic's back! Phase 1. Traffic is back. Everyone decided to come out to where we live. We must live in like a vacation hotspot, because everybody decided to come out here for the weekends. They opened up the state parks. They're like, oh, you can go camping now. So, and it was a beautiful day today. Oh, it's going to be in the 80s today. So everybody's like, let's go to the island. So then on the way in, we're like looking at the traffic coming back to the island. We're like, yep, we're going to get caught in that. I don't know if it's illegal for a store to deny cash payment. I've been able to use cash so far. Today it was kind of weird because I went to a store we haven't been in since the stay-at-home order. We went to Costco. And I was going to pay and I was like, do you guys still accept cash? Because the guy was like standing there like, and his mask, like the checker had a mask, but they put in these big plexiglass walls between the customer and the cashier, and the cashier was just like standing there, and I'm trying to hand him cash through like the little thing, and he wasn't wearing his mask, but I was kind of odd. I have not tried to play with bottle caps. 80s, why would anyone want to go outside when it's 80? 80 to me is like, it's fine. I like the weather. Almost perfect weather. David loves like 65, and like 65 I think is perfect weather for David. Yeah, I don't mind the big plexiglass walls. I think it's fine. Even the sinks all have plexiglass in between the sinks. And it's crazy because, the big thing, me being green, and my whole theory about like maybe they did this thinking that they were going to help with climate change, and I'm like, but they're going to be ruining the world with more pollution. Like everywhere you go, fortunately they let us like bag our own stuff, and we brought our own bags, but and another place is like, if you want to bag your stuff, you can just tell us and we'll just put everything back in the cart, and you can take the cart out there. Check, please. Okay. I'll check. Who is profiting from plastic? Well, what are they called? Plexiglass dividers in markets. Your wife told you to stop acting like a flamingo, so you had to put your foot down. That's pretty funny. German plexiglass firm turns out virus shields. March 31st, 2020. For plexiglass manufacturer Klaus Mueller, business has never before been better. The global market for acrylic sheet was worth $5.3 billion. And so, yeah, it's a German company, Klaus Mueller. There's also, let's see. That's the only one I see. There's Storage Made also. But no, really. There you go. If everyone wears a mask, everyone's equally as likely. And some people are like, they can't see me making faces behind my mask. I'm like, it all shows in your eyes, people. Haven't you ever seen, like, here. Can you tell I'm smiling? Yes. You tell I'm mad? You can tell I'm sad just by looking at my eyes. You don't need to, like, see my mouth. No, I don't want gold teeth. Thanks, baby girl Green Eyes, for thanking David for doing this show. Wistful. Pensive. I can do pensive. Wistful. I don't know. I don't know if I have the right wistful one, but... I know, it all shows in your eyes. Like, the eyes are the window to the soul. I did like that, the cornrow kind of braid thing that, what, Elon Musk's girlfriend Grimes had going on, and blonde on her hair. I could get that done. A moment of silence for little Richard. But little Richard wouldn't be silent. He'd be like, I want those Ghana dancers at my, you know, the Ghana funeral dancers. That's what he would want. Can't you see little Richard, like those Ghana dancers being there for him? Totally. I know, little Richard wouldn't want silence. He'd want, woo! Move over, Miss Daisy. Go ahead and open up those pearly gates. I'm coming in. Hey, John Lennon, what's up? And then they'd be like, yo, Elvis. And they'd just be rocking out in heaven. Seriously. Be like, wow. We thought we had some good ones up here until little Richard arrives. I know, some of you think Elvis is still alive. Trump is really upset because White House staffers tested positive for COVID and the death toll is nearing 80,000. I have been shedding quite a bit. Yes, my bun is small. I feel like I'm losing hair. I'm like, do I want to, you know, take off an inch so it grows better? I don't know. The CDC director is self-quarantining after exposure to the person at the White House who tested positive for COVID-19. Isn't he one of those that's like, oh, we don't have to wear a mask, we get tested all the time. We've all been vaccinated. I don't think so, Lot Lizard. I'd like to get in a little bit better shape, but what final dream? What? I totally don't believe that. Oh, Dr. Fauci is going to begin a modified quarantine. He was possibly exposed as well to the COVID-19 exposure. It's real what Final Dream was saying about foreskins. I don't know. I think David is very healthy. He always makes me amazing salads for lunch, like every day, especially every day since the stay-at-home order. He makes these amazing salads, so I think he's pretty healthy. Alright, I'll have to... I am better off not knowing. I guess I try to be blinded to reality. No, whatever. I don't know. Is ignorance bliss? Yeah, probably. This is how circumcision ties into the conspiracy? Yeah. Nice to see you too. How's school going? Yeah, do I want the red pill or the blue pill? Sometimes I take the purple pill, like a little bit of what you guys consider reality and a little bit like I don't want to know. Lot Lizards claims that Elon Musk is trying to leave Earth as soon as possible. He knows it's over. That's all you need to know. Ah, good. 2 weeks to go. Nice. And then you'll have your CDL, right? And is a CDL like transferable to other states then? Or do you have like a home state that you work out of? Maybe I'm that way. Maybe I'm the one with the mental block. Final Dreams thinks other people have mental blocks where they can't perceive reality. Maybe I'm one of those people because I don't want to see weird YouTube videos about things that I don't really want to. I'd rather like not talk about things, and maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Got it. And what do you have a preference? Manual, I hear, is pretty difficult. Just like how many different gears? My goodness. This is a lot more than just like 5 gears like a vehicle. Did I ever tell you my dad used to drive? I don't blame you. Yeah. Me either, like a normal. Yeah, I don't drive a stick shift. You're welcome. I don't have to have an Echo. I didn't know what that place was. I don't have to have an Echo Park photo in the background. I can get rid of that. There, is that better?
Just curious where you put the walnuts. Do you remember putting?
Yes, they're in the center, and one is in a box, and one is in the back, but it's in the
so
center.
you know where they are.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't know where all the other stuff is. That's true. You got to trust your instructors. And you know what? It's better to, like, if you're on their equipment, oh well, if something breaks, that's what you're paying, or whoever's paying your thing is for. So yeah, maybe now's the time to learn to drive a manual. Oh, David told us that park is dangerous. See, I tend to agree with Totore. Like, you and I, Totore, are on the same page politically, I think. Yeah. Well, I'm referring, Misanthropy, I'm talking to Tiddly D over at iVlog, who's going through truck driver school. And I think he hasn't driven a manual before, so I think it's good to drive a manual and learn on their equipment. And like, that's why I mean, trust your instructors. They're like, just do what we say and you'll be okay. And I think it's sometimes difficult to take a leap, but if you have someone there to help you, then that's a good time to take a leap. Misanthropy's like, no, don't do that. Why is it that after waking up people, other people want you to go back to sleep? I know. I'm not woke yet. You have driven a manual? I have a couple times, but only a couple times. I didn't do that great, but a regular manual. I don't know about like driving a truck manual like that. There's so many gears. That would be intimidating for me. For sure. Even just driving a big truck is intimidating. Yeah, you taught me about continuity of government, but I still believe that was just like for a small portion of time and that it did not continue the continuity of government. I don't believe we're still in it like you believe. David does have a manual Insight that I've never driven. And I have a automatic Insight, which I drive all the time. What does LMTV stand for? No, my brother used to work on certain vehicles in the Marines. So you say it was activated and it was never deactivated, therefore it was still going on? The way I understand continuity of government, though, is if someone can't make the decisions and it allows the other people to make the decisions. But
tell people about that movie theater in your area. That's pretty interesting.
Oh, I was telling David. So near us, we have. I told you guys we're in phase 1 of 4 phases for opening business, right? In Washington State, the governor says we're going to do a 4-phase late rollout. And in the first phase, they opened things like golf courses, camping, so all the state parks were open, and we hit traffic today because everybody was coming to the island. Okay, light, medium, or okay, medium tactical vehicle. Thank you for explaining that. And there's this local, we have this local iconic drive-in theater. It's so cool. It's like an old farm turns to a drive-in theater, and they have like an arcade, and they have what are those called? Little cars. They have a little car track, but the drive-in theater obviously has been closed since the stay-at-home order. And when the phase 1 went into effect, they're like, oh, we can open up, and it's been really nice weather. And they're like, oh, we can open up the drive-in theater, and they were so excited. They're like, you know what? Because we're gonna have a free movie this weekend. And then on Facebook they posted, we can't do the free movie because of some kind of regulation that went into effect. That something about the bathrooms, like people couldn't get out of their cars, or I don't know, couldn't even buy popcorn. It's ridiculous. I don't really understand it, but I really think like the drive-in theaters, if people can go camping, they should be able to go to a drive-in theater where they're just in their car. They don't even have to roll down the windows, because it's not like a drive-in theater with the old-fashioned like listen with the device. It's a drive-in theater where you have like the radio and you tune it to a certain radio, so your windows could be rolled up. It's not like you're infecting anybody. Anyway, that's pretty crazy that the drive-in theater's still closed. And so now the drive-in theater posted on Facebook that if they're not able to open soon, that they're just going to have to close up shop and close their business forever. And they've been struggling for some time. They had a really bad winter, they said, and if they have to be closed during their busiest season, they're not going to be able to afford to stay open. Wow. Misanthropy believes they don't want to tell you that the Constitution does not currently apply under continuity of government. They want you to trick you into demanding your rights be taken away so that they can officially dissolve your rights. I love our movie theater has been putting things up on their like placards. Like first it was like, we'll reopen when closed, will reopen when life no longer feels like a bad movie. And then they've been changing it up. Like something coming soon, death of the coronavirus was one of them. I should just take pictures of their like marquees. They've been changing up their marquees, which are kind of cute. 2.5 truck. Wow. Did you drive? And when you were in the Army, did you drive those LMTVs? Tiddly D. You started downloading IMAX videos, hoping they would be about nature, but they want to shove humans down your throat. And all the videos you saw, there was I've only been to one IMAX movie, actually maybe two, but I would only recommend one. One was called Legends in Flight, and it's about the Boeing. It's a kind of a shorter movie, but it's about the Boeing 737 or whatever, one of them building one of the planes. That's good, Tiddly D. I'm glad it's like, yeah, maybe that is why they hire veterans. Governor Inslee's objective is to prevent the economy from rebounding until November. True, Ben. Or it seems like that, Ben. I think, you know what, Ben? I really think about Governor Inslee. I really think that he thought this is my thought on Inslee. I think he saw that, oh, Wuhan, by everybody staying at home, like suddenly they're like, skies are clear and we've got to do something drastic to combat climate change. And so then he's like, oh, if I like close that down everything, people will stop driving and the skies will dramatically clean, and this will be drastic to help the climate change. And then obviously that's not gonna work, because like now, oh my goodness, I think I saw more traffic today on my going to my island than I have in like the last 3 years. Everybody's like, it's a beautiful day. Like I said, it was like maybe 80 degrees today, and then they finally said phase 1. Okay, I guess you can camp, because obviously we can't tell you can't camp because you can physically distance while you're camping. So we'll open up the state parks, and then it's like the state parks are open. We have this amazing state park called Deception Pass. And so I think everybody from Seattle's like, I could get out of my house. I can go camping. Whidbey Island trip. And like all of them came over here. It's so crazy. All right. Judge Kangaroo says, Sarah, the thing is that people typically overestimate their health. I know a morbidly obese 53-year-old with high blood pressure and irregular heartbeat who seems to think he's a model of great health. Wow. Because they think I'm healthy and it won't happen to me. Yeah. You like my sense of humor? I totally thought I didn't have a sense of humor forever, because I definitely have a different sense of humor than David. I realized I had a sense of humor when I started talking to my family again. My dad says things and I just laugh so much. Oh gosh, do I remember the nature videos they show in elementary school, the ones that look like they were from the 70s or something? No, but I will always remember the name of this I think it was called You Are Not Alone, and it was about the viruses and bacteria that live on you, and like the little tiny bacteria that lives in your eyelashes and comes out at night to clean your eyelashes. And then there are little gunk that they put in the corner of your eye. I think that was called You're Not Alone. It was so crazy. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Do you want to try sleeping in your car, Tiddly D? Man, I don't know. Yeah, motels over there. Are there cheaper motels you could get? I don't know. Could you camp? You can get a tent and maybe camp out. That might save some money. No, Melrose, I've never had that. I've never actually, I don't like arguing. I wasn't that big into grunge. A little bit toward the end of my high school days, but I'm not actually from Seattle. I live up here kind of near Seattle, but I'm actually spent most of my childhood in Southern California, and I wasn't even born in Southern California. I've lived all over. Sarah, did David ever tell you the story? Yes, David's told me every story. No. I don't remember the Hucklebuck part, Chuck Norris, but David's told me all of his stories probably 10 times. Me, I don't even like boxing. Don't worry, be happy. Oh, good. The school pays for the motels, but only Monday through Thursday. So you have to pay Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or go home on the weekends. You could go home. Could you have a place to go home on the? Do you have a home to go back to on the weekends, or did you like leave and give up your rent and everything? Judge Kangaroo hates out-of-state people. They go to a state and act like they own the place. You chase someone from Oregon license plate that got upset because your politics weren't the same as the state he was from. Wow. I'm sorry that happened to you, Final Dream, that they canceled your mom's heart appointments. That is messed up. Ooh, Zoo Quest. Thanks, Meta Nemesis. We've done a lot of Motel 6s across when we used to travel. I traveled a lot with David for a little while. And then we had a house to come back to, but and then we didn't travel for a few years, and now it's like we traveled last summer and we hadn't traveled for probably 6 years or so, and I do not want to do it again. Yeah, I did notice there were a lot of people walking and jogging and all kinds of stuff. Sarah, do you have tourists that come into your town and hang out in the fancy shopping areas? Yes and no. We don't have any fancy shopping areas. Like, we have some places that they would love to think that they're fancy shopping areas, but they're not. So we have a lot of tourists that come to our town, but there's no fancy shopping areas. So, yeah. Sarah, have you read any of the beat writers like Kerouac and Ginsberg? They made travel seem romantic. I've heard of them. I haven't really actually read them. Not that I'm aware of, Play 2. David is not the first frontman for Rolling Stones. Rolling Stones did do an article that included him, though. Misanthropy doesn't see the point in being a consumer while on vacation. Except consuming motels. David was just kind to homeless people. I don't know why. I mean, maybe just to be a kind person. You'll have to find that out yourself, Judge Kangaroo. It was an article in, I think, 2016 about alternative presidential candidates. And they did not contact David for a comment. Oh yeah, I think I still have some copies of Zoo books in my classroom. They more refer to the video that he made. The infamous video that he made. And Judy Blume, yep. I remember those good books. Were those the videos Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom were some old educational videos? I don't really remember those. Oh, that was a really good book. I read that book. I liked it. Are You There, God? I'm Having My Period. I think that was the name of it, yeah. It was it was a good book for me to read because I grew up, yeah, long story, but it was I could relate to that book. Huh. Okay, if you say so, Tiddly Dee. You know that you're not supposed to get your computer too warm. It can't process things. It's really meant for a girl. That book was really meant for a girl. You just read IMAJICA by Clive Barker. Oh. I don't know. Yep, Judge. I know. Your computer's dead, so now you're on your phone? Is that right? Okay. What am I trying? Lemon juice and mint leaves? Like a mint tea with lemon in it? No, I'm just making stuff up. Well, I don't think that David had listened to Obama enough to even impersonate him at the time, so that he made that original video. Oh, goodness. I think they are on. Cams are on. I will have to wait till I come back to play that theme song. And I think my cams are on. Now. Me right now like a noob. Well, why not? Because I am recording this broadcast right now, and then David uploads it to YouTube, and if I play a music right now, then David won't necessarily edit it out, and then it will get cited for they'll say we have to, what's the word? They'll monetize it, yeah. David acknowledges Zetterbeard sometimes is on iVlog. Sometimes. He's not right now. It's mostly Tiddly Dee is on here. And let's see who else is on here. FM Rock and 317, Granny with 4Y, Skeet, Stealth Mode, The Mob. Hey, The Mob, I haven't seen you in a long time. Zellfire is on here, I think. Or are those just my friends that are on? I don't know. That's chatless. I don't know. Let's see. Tiddly D's on here, Skeet, Stevo, and some guests. We're gonna have some chicken tonight for dinner. We were able to pick one up when we went out shopping. Yeah, it's violating copyright when David if I played a video, music video. I'll play it later at 8 o'clock. I come back. I did not realize that, Judge. Kangaroo Judge. You think all of On Live is full of people, older people pretending to be DJs? I'll become one of those at 8 o'clock. But I believe you, everyone would love it. That's it, that's all their content. How did they go about gathering that particular group of people? Sarah, with the food shortages, do you think hunting should be allowed without licenses? No, I think that there should still be, I think hunting should be allowed with licenses, and I think that there still should be the same limits that they have on certain animals. You know, people can hunt and get certain animals to hunt. But I do think, you know, encouraging more people to raise animals, that might help with the food shortages, possible food shortages. And why is that so difficult for you, Tiddly D? Do you feel like you always have to protect her from strange people approaching her? Ah, that's true. The female casters, you're right. They all couldn't outlast the tough old birds like me. Only the old ladies like me stuck around. I don't know, Bob. Well, no, David does not currently oppose microwave ovens. He currently uses microwave ovens. However, that could all change with the late birthday present I got him. Today, he asked me, he couldn't decide for a while what he wanted for his birthday, and this morning he said, I really want an RMF detector, or EMF detector. And so it's on order. It's being shipped. And then he can hold it by the microwave, and then he could be like, oh, it's putting out EMF or electric, whatever. And then he might stop using the microwave. I don't know. Oh, your sister is nuts, you say? Invert you with thinking. Oh, as great as you are at like Scrabble or Words with Friends, which we should play sometime again. But your sister's just not. Do you think she's playing a game to not be? Because like men, especially Southern men don't expect their women to be intelligent. I don't know. I'm just saying that. Nothing against awesome women in the South or men in the South. I grew up in the South, and that's the perception that my perception. Any attractive girls room on Vaughn, all the website mods and admins, and they get rejected. The girls, it's really hard to be a girl because you either get like leered at and like take it off and oh you're so cute and oh I like your hair and bleh, yuck and not whatever, or or like rejected, oh you're dirty, whatever, you're a horrible person, you should just go hurt yourself and all this stuff. And it's really difficult for women, I think, to kind of take it all in and process that. I have not seen any other shows at Vaughn, so I think I saw Mark's show once for like 5 minutes, but that's about it. I'm sorry, Judge. That's a totally different side. I don't know, I think I'm a different than a lot of women. People are talking about duck fat and geese fat now over at Vaughn Live. They say that, don't worry, be happy, says geese is like duck. The greasy part is a bird thing. Certain birds have their skin that secretes lipids to enable them to shake off water or liquids when they get wet. That's pretty interesting. Ducks, geese, and another bird that can swim have that property. Watch a duck shake off the water when it gets out of water. That's pretty interesting. Why were you fighting with him, pirate? Ooh, Klaatu. That sounds like, your name almost sounds like Alaskan. I wonder, especially, well, where did you the best bird you've had is smoked sandhill crane. Amazing. Where did you eat that? They call it the ribeye of the sky. Where do they serve that? Sometimes, Judge, yeah. In the sky? Did you eat it in the sky? That sounds pretty interesting. Oh, Colorado Springs. Very interesting. Huh. Smoked sandhill crane. A friend of yours is a hunter. Oh, okay. It's not like something you can get at a fancy restaurant. Borderline personality? Wow. Tastes like ribeye, but more tender. That's difficult to believe. I believe you, but bless you. Again, bless you. I don't even want to talk about that, Judge. That issue. That's just, ugh. so weird. The viral pandemic. Oh, I gotta show you guys this.
All right, that was a long one. I had to do some things. Thank you. Your dinner's in the microwave. I got your chicken, some sweet potatoes, and a little Brussels
Oh,
sprouts.
I think I'll put this over on yours because you'll like this first story on here.
Okay. I'm gonna get rid of that all
Then I'll
sides thing.
get rid of. No, that's what I want to show you.
Oh,
Because look at the first story. Okay.
yeah, good. Okay, we'll take that. It's definitely a news story. Thank you, Sarah. All right, Sarah, is dinner time.
Dinner time. All right. Sounds good.
Thank you. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so it looks like the news is finally covering the cover-up that is going on right now of this woman's video. I can't play the video. I'm not allowed to play the many different interviews she's done. Excellent knowledge base this woman has, describing the potential contamination of 28 million vaccines. Viral pandemic video prompts social media frenzy. A viral video promoting an alternative theory to the coronavirus pandemic triggered a wave of controversy on social media this week, underscoring the way conflicting information and misinformation can spread during a crisis. Well, we'll know. If it's information, then we have to credibly question whether it's information or not, right? Dave, do you have a website I could just play games and hang out on? Yeah. It's called Cool Rock. And you haven't seen it? Sarah didn't show it to you? Yeah, I'd like to show it to you, but her name is Judy Mikovich, and she's been very, very active. And she explains that her life was turned upside down when Dr. Fauci ordered all of her information or research taken from her home at 3:30 in the morning with a fake subpoena. And she had a gag order put on her for 5 years. She couldn't even talk about it. Now the media is trying to prevent her from talking about it, which is kind of odd that they want to squelch this story in that she found 28 million vaccines that had been contaminated with a potential cancer-causing virus. So, yeah. So let me check out Cool Rock for you. It is a website dedicated to your fun. We don't have a BitChute channel. I'm working on an access point to BitChute. I always use BitChute as my opportunity if I have to upload there. I have 153news.net/third party. If you want to go there, you can watch 4 or 5 videos about Epstein being alive. I've had a couple banned videos on YouTube I put in there. Pretty interesting stuff. Whenever I get too controversial, they ban me at YouTube. So I try to avoid controversy, and especially, I can't play her video, obviously, for that reason, as much as I have in the past on a regular show. If you want to catch us during our non-broadcast recorded hours, you can certainly hear about all the different theories I've got. Right now, I'm primarily concerned about finding out what the cause of the rising deaths of people in New York. Old people in New York are dying at an alarming rate, and they don't even leave their apartment. And because we have a serious scientific scrutiny to undergo, we have to come up with a hypothesis. And I came up with a hypothesis that their deaths may be a result of inflated or increased radiation in the area that they're living. Yeah. Notice how I prevented using a certain word just now? Okay, so here is a coolest website. I call it Cool Rock. And it's fun and it's free. And you can go there and play games. You can check out our Vaughn chat room link here, our DLive chat room here, and then America's Third Party. You can get our poster and join the voter revolt. And my poster is right there. You can download it, put it on a printer, black and white, Xerox it. It works with black and white or color, and you can put it anywhere you want. but I guess people can't really leave their homes, so they can't see it, can they? Yeah, kind of interesting how this whole mind control device is being used. I told you earlier that these masks will not filter viruses. You probably know that, right? They just filter smart dust. Yeah, I've been wearing them to filter the smart dust. I don't want to breathe smart dust. Smart dust is 0.15 microns in width, and this is a 0.1 micron filter. So, yeah. What do you want to talk about? Because I've got really fun stuff on the website, Cool Rock. We've got gaming, amazing gaming up here at the top right. This button, Web Oasis, click that, and you'll go to an amazing utility that's available to anybody who wants to click on it. Web Oasis, it's called. I'll give you a better grab of this, and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. Part of the reason why I did this is because as you know, I spent a lot of time in front of the computer, and I get bored. And boredom is one of the big problems I've had ever since I started. Well, ever since I met Sarah, we've had to deal with this reality that, you know, she and I both are different in many ways, and I like music a lot. And I had created prior this website, coolrock.com, and it turns out that we just drop things in there and it works. Web Oasis is a perfect one to drop in there. You can go there and play arcade games if you're bored. I always wanted a place to hang out, and we kind of have that with Cool Rock. And I love that fact that you guys can meet me in the chat room and you can chat and interact with me at iVlog. You guys are right now. Tiddly D just said, do not use microwaves to dry your hair. That's pretty funny. We've got people over there in DLive in our chat room. Trump is the worst. Yeah. And then we've got a lot of things down below that are fun. If you want to look at our Twitter shows, we've got all of them in there. Just click this link to America's Third Party's Twitter show. But here's some great buttons. We've got a list of our U.S. foreign aid that you would never know how much foreign aid we have without clicking that and finding out we give all this money to these companies, or the countries rather. That's interesting. I'll change that up. We'll put different things in there. We usually get those from the Reddit room. Speaking of that, we've got the Flipboard link button here, which is our link to all of our magazines. This is the new thing I just put out. And our magazines, we got 37 magazines, all of which are really, really good, cutting edge information sharing like you'd never get in the mainstream media. I truly believe this is a better resource than Time Magazine, Newsweek, New York Times, any of the newspapers, simply because you can dive right into any subject. You want to know if Epstein's alive? Click that right there. And you'll have a picture of Epstein seen alive in New York, right there. Now we know that he got away with unbelievable crimes and they faked his death. We know that. But the government hasn't admitted it. Michael Baden never said that he faked his death. He said that he got murdered. I don't buy that. That's another false theory. You look at these pictures, you will be amazed. And then obviously we got his whole story and how he's become kind of the talk of the town. Morgan Fairchild wrote an article I unearthed from about a year ago. I put that in there. New York Academy of Art chairman introduced a student to Jeffrey Epstein. And we talked about Maria Farmer and what she was involved with and her interviews. News about Epstein alive, top 10 reasons there may be a story there. So you just dive right in and you can go into that website. Flipboard links is where you go. This is a tool that you can get into Vocaroo and actually record your show right off your microphone and your sound card. Hit the record button and go for it. And if you do that, you'll have a recording of what you're doing at Cool Rock. So say you want to play some music here. You play some music and you throw it in there. You can put your voice on there with your microphone. It's just pretty cool. I bet there's going to be a few hit songs coming out of this. If you want to get into other stuff, we've got another plug-in button that has a drum machine. You can customize it with snares, hi-hats, crashes, all kinds of fun stuff. And in the Explore area, they actually have online compositions that were already developed that you might want to use. So you've got that going for you. Have fun with that. We've got over here an interactive game. You can play you can actually play piano with a computer. That was a response. And then going down, we've got a lot of fun stuff on the site. I put all this stuff together. And by the way, you can move anything you want on the page. You can always hit the refresh button. It'll pop right back up. Learn to play the piano. We've got a group writing board, people from all around the world playing around. You can also got all these croutons here, the best one of which is in the middle, right next to the type button, and that's this circle, 3JS. It gives you a gateway to cloud computing with a virtual reality effect that will blow your mind. So that's pretty cool. I put in a little card game where you can pick a card and test your psychic abilities. 2 of diamonds. I'm not very psychic. 9 of clubs. Play some harp. Do whatever you want. Psychic is something you can tune into, though. And here's All Sides News. We just read a story from there about this. Viral pandemic video prompts social media frenzy. I'm frenetic about my frenzy regarding this woman. I actually like this woman a lot. Not, in a romantic way, even though she is my age. But seriously, oh my gosh. Every time I get a call, it's always because I'm talking about something sensitive that no one wants to talk about in the mainstream media. Wow, I guess I hit a button there. You're checking out a new mask? Okay. Let's put a mask over that right there, and oh, nice. Ooh, you'd be the first on their block to have a S&M mask for, for air breathing. That's nice. Don't you think that's a little sick? Sicky? Yeah, that's pretty weird. But if you want to get a filter in there, I guess you'd have to put a filter somehow. They wouldn't allow that at the store, I don't think. He did look kind of like Trump, I know. He's very similar to Trump in his overall appearance. Well, whatever the number of deaths in my state, whatever the number of people in my state, multiply by 0.20 and you'll get the real number of people suffering from corona. You see, the coronavirus test does not have a gold standard. They're using a Q-tip test still that they stick in a machine that amplifies its RNA so great that they come up with 80% false positive. Now, I'm not saying not saying this fruits enzyme spray kills COVID, okay? But it does provide a very fresh effervescence that I need to maintain the constancy of our constant show. As you know, we have a 14-hour show going on non-stop daily, and we've been doing it now for 55 days. I mean, I'm way past Jerry Lewis, folks. Jerry Lewis has got nothing on me. All right? Thank you. Oh, that's the nectar of the gods. Oh, that's incredible. Coffee from the forest of Brazil. Yeah, organic. That's incredible. I'm telling you. Ever since my grandfather was down in South America in the 1920s and worked the coffee plantations, I've had a penchant for coffee. My chromosomes almost desire it when I need that caffeine. It's the perfect blend, You have been removed from the show due to violations. Did you hear about the African leader that used the COVID test on some papayas? And they actually tested positive? I heard that, Klaatu. Yeah, isn't it amazing, Shelley? And I did it without one single donation from any of you. Yeah, 55 days, 110 hours a week. And I did it without one single donation from an American citizen. Yeah, we didn't get a single donation in that time period. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, really kind of makes you wonder about where people are going. There was a terrible arrest today of an Australian woman.
I don't consent.
All she was doing was protesting with her daughter. And what you're about to see is extremely disturbing and will make you pissed off at law enforcement. And the level at which they're willing to submit us to totalitarian rule. Now, granted, Australia doesn't have the same rules that we have here with our Bill of Rights. But you got to admit, what you're going to see really questions the ethics of police when they pull a mother doing nothing, with not harming a person, pulling her away with her child. Watch this.
Acting safely, we're not acting in aggression. So I do not consent to giving my name. There is no name to give. Exactly. Am I under arrest? Am I being detained here? No, I'm just trying to speak to you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So I'm not under arrest, am I? You are not being detained.
She's just simply protesting her rights. She's wearing a thing, standing out, protesting her rights. That's all she's doing.
Free to go.
I am asking for your name because I do believe you're committing an offence. Do you understand that?
I'm not committing a crime. I'm being detained.
I understand.
Am I being detained? No. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for. I hope that you're all here supporting and caring for us. Maybe you guys can carry a sign too. I'd love to. Okay.
I am going to be asking permission to arrest you. Okay.
I do not consent.
I understand.
You
guys are good people deep down.
So have a beautiful day.
It's sad that
Thanks.
you have to do this.
Thanks very much. It is because it's our
guys,
rights.
they're doing their jobs and look what they have to be.
Yeah, I have 3 under 6 and this is what I'm teaching them. I go to sleep with honour at the end of the night, with honour knowing that I've defended my rights. I'm here fighting for not just myself and my kids, but for your children too.
That's right.
So thanks guys, have a good day. I'm going to keep walking. Fantastic. Well, my son's with me. I am not under arrest for anything.
Why is she under arrest?
You need to get your
Why is she under arrest? Can you grab the glass? Can you grab Victor, please? Immediately. Why is she under arrest?
Come on.
Why is she under arrest?
Hello.
Why is she under arrest? Tell me why.
What can I do for you?
Why is she under arrest? Why is she under arrest? Why is she under arrest? Why is she under Prove it. Prove why she's under arrest. Stop.
All right, let me just stop it right there. This is when you start to feel compassion in your heart for the woman and her child, not when you criticize the kid and ask to tase the child. I mean, that's insane. You really expect to be in this account more than a few more minutes before I ban you from the show, Joe? How can you possibly say such a thing? He said tase the kid. I mean, really, is that sarcasm or something? No, we've got to get the whole thing on tape.
Prove why she's under arrest. Where is the order? You are not going to order. Victor!
All right, so let me get this straight. You're okay with her and her child being arrested for no reason at all. I want you out of the show, whoever you are. It better be sarcasm. This is going to happen to you, too, in your local neighborhood. Oh, you'll be charged with touching your face. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that there's a new Democratic law somewhere where if you touch your face, it's a penalty. Seriously. That was... Oh, sir, you're in violation of touching your face. I banned Mork. That guy's a total worthless pile of FSB crap. He's a Russian agent. He's been in our show for God knows how long. Well, I know how long, 12 years. He literally was in our, I think the first night we even appeared. Or at least the first week we appeared in Blog TV. He came in and he hasn't left the show since. Well, the thing is, if you want to engage in violence, that's something you're going to have to decide. I don't want you to. Not for me, no. I'm much more subtle about what I want to do. I want to slowly mold the viewing audience to understand that we're building civil disobedience here. This is not like violence. This is an actual commitment to stand against their rules, their arbitrary rules. Yeah, you could get a 5-point reduction for unlawful face touching. And they'll be monitoring that with the facial recognition tools that the Illuminati will have. My name on Blog TV was, my name was David Sponheim, and I was part of Third Party. Our show was enormously popular, and then they shut down Blog TV right out from under us. Well, civil disobedience, you're not committing a violation in any sort. You're not hurting anyone. So you might be ticketed by an arbitrary law that is illegal and violating your freedom to assemble. But if you go out and drive around and it's not essential food day for you, I would not worry about it. You know, today was the first day in a long time that they even started allowing people to go to our parks. So today was the big day in Washington. They finally released the parks to all of us. And Sarah and I drove out, and we went out over to Costco, and it's a 35-mile drive or a 30-mile drive to get there, and it was no problem getting there. We got about 45 minutes, boom, we're there. But on the way, we noticed this line of cars, and I saw so many people with their boats. It was crazy. Everybody was boating today. Everybody took the day to go to the parks and go boating, and they launched their boat and they went boating. It was great, actually. I wouldn't doubt Costco's illegal where you are. Yeah. It's like they want to make it so impossible. So everyone had to wear masks at Costco. You couldn't get in without a mask. So, of course, I had my trusty mask on. Yeah, these are all state parks with boating ramps. Are you retarded or something? Mentally retarded people have another room. If you want to go to our mentally retarded room, we have one set up for you. Would you like to go there? We have a room where people just like to watch. Yeah, where I actually don't have much interaction. And I can't say they're mentally retarded. They just don't like to watch. So may I suggest that you go there? It's low resolution, so you could watch it, you know, in some of your when you're in the art room playing with your friends. I wash everything. Yeah, I'm constantly washing everything. I've got a load running right now. You put a thong on your face? Well, there's some dancers out there that would like to dance, and they've talked about dancing with masks as, you know, undergarments. We have in our room at various times, and it might be right now, I'm not sure, we have Insane Canadian, and she is a stripper. Yeah, thank you for coming in for the show. You are, yeah, and she said she absolutely will not wear a mask. So I suggested maybe she's do her routine with a mask over her body, you know. That'd be kind of funny. Your president is an idiot, yeah. Glad you finally admitted it. Some girls are wearing masks as bikinis, exactly. So there you have it. I don't know, but Insane Canadian is a nice lady, and she's a woman, and she's been hanging out in our room and talking about how upset she is that this police state is formed. She's like us, she's very upset. And she is extremely upset because in Toronto, they're rolling out all kinds of draconian totalitarian rules that they aren't even doing here. Oh, and there's food shortages up there. Oh, yeah. And we're seeing food shortages across the country in Duquesne, Pennsylvania. Lines down the road for people waiting to get food. My mask, this little blue mask would cost me $30 in Japan right now. That's how valuable these things are. Here I bought 500 of them thinking, gee, when will I ever use them? We ended up selling about 200 of them over the years. I had a little thing going where I would sell them online, and it was okay, but I decided I'm going to keep 300 of them. You loaded up on bacon? Yeah, we bought some turkey bacon. We bought like a big mega thing of turkey bacon in the freezer. Yeah, you can't call here, sir. Yeah, you blew it. So that was pretty upsetting. I'm sorry that happened to her. I'll play that in our video tonight, the full-length video of a boy cries as her mom is arrested for a peaceful protest. I didn't play much of it because it's very heart-wrenching. And obviously some of you are sociopaths and have been raised by the Illuminati to not care about anybody, including yourself. Yeah, I can tell. I don't know what to do for you people, but it's pretty serious when the police state takes over. I'm putting that in police state. Okay, we got a couple things in the proverbial bin here. Wow, you know, I can't imagine what they're talking about on Ellen DeGeneres. I don't understand why they would be talking about, Sandra Bullock would be talking about her Korean baby foreskin rejuvenation treatment.
Skin.
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person.
So she's on Ellen DeGeneres talking about installing Korean baby foreskin in her body to get rejuvenated.
Far.
What are these people into? I mean, seriously, how it...
And they somehow figured out how to extract...
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
Okay, so now I'm getting a little bit freaked out because we remember that weird picture Ellen DeGeneres had of the child that was in the Frazzle Drip. Yeah, that Frazzle Drip picture. Why was Ellen DeGeneres wearing a picture of a child that was tortured in a video with Hillary Clinton and Uma Ahmadin that was apparently suppressed by the FBI and no one's seen it, except for a couple New York cops that ended up killing themselves? Well, here it is. Without showing you the picture of the baby, the girl that was tortured and killed, that was apparently allegedly in this video, we now see Tom Hanks making a joke about it with his Wilson thing, and we also see her wearing a picture of it. What's going on here? And then talking about a baby foreskin from a Korean child being injected in their skin to rejuvenate their body. What the hell is happening? Okay, we got some real interesting threads. The story about this young man who was gunned down recently appears to show Ahmaud Arbery entering a new house on McMichael Street, running out after spotted by a neighbor. We're about to see something very disturbing. If indeed this led to something that happened later, like his death, we need to know this. Let's take a look. At least inquiring minds need to know, right? There he is running out of his neighbor's house. Oh, I see that. Yeah. Okay, so you see it in the far distance, up in the top corner of the screen. I'll play it again. They're reviewing this. That shows a man believed to be Arbery walking in and around a home under construction just minutes before he was shot and killed. But this timestamp appears to be an hour off. Huh. Well, how can it be the same time if the timestamp is an hour off? I mean, come on. I mean, who's kidding who? And how is it justifiable to kill somebody who allegedly was robbing some house and they were making a citizen's arrest? How is that legal? Now you're going to tell me the guy had... Now you're going to tell me the guy had only some Skittles on board and he was high on Skittles. There are more than 4 chatters here. They censor our chat. I've asked you guys to go over to DLive, I don't know how many times, and you keep spending your time here. I don't need money, nor do I want to sell my Fountain of Youth water. If I sold my Fountain of Youth water, I'd become a millionaire or billionaire or a trillionaire, and then I would be, you know, people would think I'm corrupt, and I'm not. I could. I will look into it. Thank you for that suggestion. I will try that. misanthropy. And what they're doing now is just trying to interrupt the show. So one way we're going to deal with that is we're going to pull the battery out. No longer interrupting the show. And your phone can't possibly make any link with the base station, which means it'll be lower radiation for me. Yeah, so I told you we're getting we're getting an EMF meter that's good, one with RF detection. I told Sarah that we want to do that in the future because wherever we go, we don't know how many, micro units of radiation are coming at us. And after I saw that video of that terrible situation in London, people were out walking around experiencing this EMF radiation that's just over the top. Really. Let me play a little clip of it I played yesterday. It's really amazing. When we're seeing levels that are 5,000, when we should be seeing levels that are 200, you wonder. And that's why I thought, gee, this is the time to get an EMF meter. And we're ordering one. We're having it delivered.
There you go.
Hello.
So tell us about the electromagnetic radiation in London, Mark, with your monitor. And we've got big antennas behind us.
Well, the radiation here, I've got 4,000, 6,000 millivolts, 4,000. Maximum exposure human to is 2. The problem is when I turn it like that, you're not going to see it. You'll have to, there, it's 5,000 there. See that?
So I'll put it on. It's supposed to be only 2. What's it supposed to be in London to make it safe?
200.
200.
And my 3,000 there, 3,000, 4,000. So you're bouncing around. Significant.
It's a cumulative, folks. It's going to make you really sick. They're putting it in around all the schools. When everyone's been off, it's been laid everywhere. Fiber optics, antennas. They're putting it all up, all the LED lights. They're going to open this unlawful lockdown. They're going to let all the kids go back to school. They're going to get bathed in it. And then you're going to see the second peak. Tell us, Mark, what are they opening all around London, these mortuaries?
They're opening mortuaries all over the country.
No, they know the measurement's supposed to be 200. They've been told that, so you've been muted for that reason. And they're getting 5,000 readings. Number 5,000 when it should be 200.
Got it, XL, the XL, there's 30,000 better. Obviously, those mortuaries are here for a reason. They're going to kill an awful lot of people. Unfortunately, it's going to be children. Where we're seeing children in North London suffering radiation burns.
Now, kids are exposing, a lot of kids are getting what appear to be rashes. That's not a symptom of any type of an influenza. There is not one influenza under the list that has the etiology of rashes. All right?
It's been passed off by the medical community as Kawasaki disease. Anybody who hasn't seen microwave radiation burns, you can see it's microwave radiation burns. Anybody, unless you're a little bit dim or you're being threatened not to speak out, those doctors must know COVID to us, that's radiation. Radiation to us, that's what they call them, not COVID to us.
When you see pulmonary edema...
Pulmonary edema is burning of the lungs. And when they claim that your lungs are, unable to get oxygen, you got to wonder, and I'm just at this point asking a question. I'm not saying it is or isn't. You've got to wonder, what is the etiology of the disease? How is it manifesting in our lungs? And a professor on the verge of a significant discovery, like I said earlier, was pretty much murdered last week. The man studied cell tissue, and he probably was looking at autopsy results of people who had died recently of whatever, and he looked at it and he probably found that we're looking at radiation burns. And he immediately was killed, and then somebody he allegedly knows killed him and then killed himself. I found that more like a murder, a dual murder and a cover-up. People generally don't commit murder-suicide out in the open, too. That's unusual. Yeah. Could you be a little bit more irrelevant, Bingo? I mean, you're working on almost completely irrelevant, but that was close. And I guess people have a D-Live stopped chatting, so You know what's really weird? Of all the homeless people in California, like 65 to 100,000 people, very few people are coming down with COVID. And we've got a camera right here watching, it's called Tweaker Cam, over in Everett, Washington. And these people are all doing pretty well. You know, nobody's sick, nobody's coughing. Welcome to Tweaker Cam. Yeah, everybody's having fun. They're living in their, I guess their shelters or whatever the heck they built. They got bicycles. They're hanging out. They're partying. It's like, dude, what's going on? And nobody's wearing any masks. And you notice that they're not social distancing over in Tweaker land? At Tweaker Cam? Yeah, so we have to check in there once in a while. Thank you for sharing, but that's not my favorite place to hang out. But I am going to do something that I do in our show. Let me show you what I do. I post on sites like this. Okay, so like right here is a great site to post on. You know, the coronavirus one too I post on. But I'm going to go reach into my bag of tricks here and pull up my notepad. And in my notepad, I have a little thing I stick right in there in the chat room. And I just promote our show. You know, it's a real simple thing any one of you can do. And this is a simple one I'm putting. Boom, it's there, it's done, see? I post this thing. You can post it yourself if you want over at Tweaker Cam. I'll give you the posting list as well. You can post together. Post away, guys. What did I write? This is a New World Order power grab against people. Padded statistics have included all deaths in the COVID numbers. That's correct. I'm not making up that. I can prove it. We have the paperwork from the CDC labeling people, telling people to do it. Yeah, you can post that at Tweaker Cam. Another one that I need you to post if you could. Thanks, I need you. Well, we're not going anywhere without doing things like this. So you have to understand we have to promote the show, and we can't do it with money because people don't donate. They don't donate to our show. That's the problem. Most of our viewership is international, and they can't donate. But I have the COVID number here. Here's another one I do it in, live Corona stats. Let me take you away from Tweaker Cam to live Corona stats. Now you'll notice that this one in particular has music playing. So I mute the music, and then I put in the chat something like I posted just now. Here's another one I put in the chat frequently. Yeah, here we go. This is a good one. I'll leave it in there. This is a Rockefeller plan. They killed 100 million in 1918 with deadly vaccines, and then it posts the name. Isn't that cool? Yeah, and then I just posted again. Oh, you can't even see it. I'm sorry. Yeah, the number of 4 million people they claim have this COVID-19 worldwide. I've got news for you. The testing is 80% inaccurate, so multiply these numbers by 20%, and that's the real number. So there's about 800,000 people in the world with COVID-19 based on the truth of COVID testing being 80% off. Yeah, and there's only about 28, maybe 30 million. Oh no, there's about 46,000 people that have died, not 280,000. The rest just died of other things. In Italy, more than 75% had 2 or more diseases when they died. They were already hampered by their diseases. Here, I posted it again. Look at that. So you can do that in this room as well, if you want to. Yeah, I'm just kind of posting stuff right now. They're gay for pay if you live in that. I don't know. I don't hang out at the Everett Tweaker Cam, but thanks for sharing. That's a YouTube for the coronavirus information if you guys are still keeping track of it. Remember, we're 55 days into this. So, I mean, it gets a little bit weird at a certain point. So luckily I can still post at this hour, so I probably will. Yeah, you can put this in here. I'm not making this up, folks. The Rockefellers killed 100 million people in 1918. Just some guy paid to troll us. Yeah. Bill Gates is the front man for the Rockefeller Foundation, who handles the Rothschilds' operation of the New World Order here in the United States. This is what's going on. I'm not trying to exaggerate or come up with some conspiracy theory. This is what's happening. And they're trying to implement this plan right here, ID 2020. All right, this will be a tattooing of your hand required. Now, if you're a strong Christian, you know Leviticus 19:28 specifically says not to mark your body or stick anything in it. So this is ID 2020, one of the plans that the Rockefeller Foundation put together. But in it, the new vaccine that they came out with will also kill 6 billion people. It's going to slowly kill them as opposed to quickly kill them. But their plan is to inject as many people as possible, and they've got women like the lady we showed you last night, a doctor in the Midwest, who says that the best thing she needs to do is get rid of white people. We played that for you last night. It was unbelievable. She said, get rid of white people. That's the best way to solve this problem. Because white people are the ones that are saying the vaccine's dangerous. So she wants to get rid of white people. You want the tattoo on your head? I don't really know if the tattoo is really something you're into. The important thing is they will also be injecting an ID chip, an RFID chip the size of a piece of rice in your body, which will be tracked over a satellite system. The Starfleet, the star system that they're putting out there, the Starlink net that Elon Musk is deploying, he's working with Bill Gates to do that. The 5G system is not only a monitoring system, but it's also a potentially weaponizable system because they won't do safety testing on it. So we've got a combination of factors going on. Them pushing this agenda of vaccines, which are dangerous and filled with cancer-causing cells made from human embryonic tissue, aborted babies, along with RFID chips, the form of a small rice chip, and this as well, the tattooing, and smart dust that they want to put in the vaccine, inject it right in you. Now you're already breathing smart dust if you don't go around with a mask on. So one of the reasons why I wear a mask is because I really don't want to breathe smart dust. Smart dust will be able to be read from a device that will be looking at you and looking at your body and all the smart dust that's in it. I know this sounds like crazy stuff out of a horror movie, but this is what they're planning. Now, if you want to get behind this third party and stop these people, you better start getting behind this third party, because otherwise you will be sucked into this vacuum cleaner called the New World Order. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm telling you that's what's coming. Now, we can stop this from happening, but we have to get on the same page. And since you guys who are bickering on the left and the right and always want to hate each other, you don't want to unite, I'm urging you to unite in the middle of the political spectrum, that we now have a common goal. If I protect your first, second, fourth, fifth, and all your amendment rights, if your Bill of Rights is number one as the template of America's third party, we protect your Bill of Rights. Whereas Donald Trump wants to take away your Fourth Amendment right by force vaccinating you. The Democrats want to take away your weapons. Donald doesn't want to come out claiming that the 5G network is dangerous either, which could also nullify your Second Amendment because the 5G could be weaponized. Now you're wondering, well, wait a second, how are they going to stop my weapon if they have the 5G network? Well, they have the ability to ramp up the electricity up to 450 volts, which will fry your brain. So no matter how tough you are, unless you're wearing protection, you will be burned in your tracks when they try to terminate you. So your weapons are useless to this new weapon. Do you understand? Capiche? Your weapons are going to be useless against the 5G network, okay? You Trump supporters better get on board with this idea of uniting in the center, because if we don't unite and fight for your Second Amendment, I guarantee your president will not, okay? And neither will Biden. Now, Biden wants to take away your right to your Fourth Amendment as well as Donald Trump. They want to force vaccinate. Both of them do. The left and the right want to force vaccinate. And you're hearing the bell in the background. It's because they don't want me to say this stuff. Donald already is on record talking about this a year ago, telling everybody he wants to force vaccinate people. Yeah. Well, let's be clear. Let's take a look at his recent statement a year ago. And this was about the measles. You know he's going to be the same way about the corona, especially now that Pence's wife has it, a COVID-19 positive. Oh, gosh. With an 80% failure rate, most likely Pence's wife doesn't have COVID-19.
They have to get the shot. The vaccinations are so important. This is really going around now. They have to get their shots.
Okay, there you go. So there he is standing up for your Fourth Amendment right not to be stuck with a needle. And by the way, you do not have to consent to anything. If you want to look at the legal parameters by which you can avoid this, I've actually done some research. I'm going to have U.S. versions of this, but you have the right to refuse consent of any treatment whatsoever. Some of you don't know that, and I'm here to tell you, you should know that. Nobody should ever stick a needle in you against your rights. Yeah, here's a great little something you can check yourself. I'm not sure what happened to DLive, but everyone seemed to have stopped coming over there. We have a feeling you're being knocked out of the chat, folks. If you're trying to get into DLive, it's because they have paid, Mark has paid DLive to not let people in. This is a really good English version of your right to consent and how you don't have to have anything done to your body against your will. Yeah, your option of not actually consenting would be to be taken away and hauled to the FEMA camp and never ever released. You see, once you say you're not going to consent, they claim you're mentally ill. And then they claim that they can, under current law, they can claim you're mentally ill. Yeah, which is illegal. But we have to get on with the subject of fighting it at various levels. If we don't fight it now at the local level, we won't fight it at the higher levels. Well, I watched Wild Wild West recently at a memory for the star of Wild Wild West. Yeah, Conrad, Robert Conrad. I thought he was one of my male models as a young man growing up. I looked at Robert Conrad, even though he was a short guy. He was a male model for anybody in my age category in the 60s. So I did watch one of the shows on YouTube the other day. He died recently. Yeah, he was a good guy. Really a wonderful, brilliant actor, powerful. He did his job really well. And I can tell you that he toasts all of you on his way out, and he'll see you in heaven, I'm sure. Those of you who aren't, taking the chip and going to burn in hell with Satan. Yeah, he didn't take the chip. He didn't have 666 put in it. Hey, would you like to see something that's really shocking? There's a product called luciferase, and it's an assay. It's used in the actual virus vaccine blend that they're putting together. And I would show you that right now, but I don't want to take too much of your time. Let me just show you a little bit about it. A luciferase is actually one of the track recombinant viruses used to detect and report activity in the vaccine they want to shoot in you. And they called it luciferase for a reason, because the people that are pushing this vaccine, the same people that killed 100 million people 100 years ago, they actually worship Lucifer. Oh, by the way, Little Richard died, I heard. Yeah, Little Richard passed away today. So yeah, I'm going to give you a link and find out all about this particular device that's going to be put in all of the vaccines called luciferase. Yeah, we have information about it. I want you to be able to track that information. Yeah, Little Richard passed away, everybody. Was he 89 years old? I'm putting this stuff, loading it in the chat rooms for you to look at. These are great links if you want to see. Go down about 1/3 of the way down to read about luciferase. And finally, I want to talk about another little weird thing that came up. House Bill 6666. HR 6666. I think you need to look at this. Yeah, this is what the government is currently setting up, a plan called HR 6666. And it's the COVID-19 Testing, Reaching, and Contacting Everyone Trace Act. So this will be the precursor to the vaccines that they will never be able to actually solve your problem with, because there's no way they can create a vaccine for a mutating virus. And this bill, it needs to be looked at. When you're addressing your congressman, mention that you're a little concerned about this prevalent of the word luciferase as well as the 666 part. Yeah, this is real, folks. I'm not making this up. You're in the midst of what is called a New World Order power grab, and you're wondering, gee, what do I do? How do I prevent this from happening? Well, I'm here to tell you that this third party is dedicated to stop this Luciferian globalist attack on our rights, okay? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our second part of our show. I am always very aware of the fact that our show needs to keep evolving. They say you have to reinvent yourself every 6 weeks. I try to do that. That's one of the reasons why we're still broadcasting. And being I have a theme in mind when I give Sarah the reins, I want her to have fun, especially on Saturday. You know, we're at Sustainable Saturday. If we're not enjoying ourselves, watching the shows we enjoy, I mean, what's the point, right? We're living a very interesting time. Famous Confucius saying, may you live in interesting times. And it is interesting. A lot of you people have grown up with the era that Sarah grew up with. I had a different era in TV. I watched Wild Wild West. I got a chance to see Robert Conrad and his amazing talents as kind of a male figure in American history. And he recently passed away, and this is a toast to him. To you, Robert. You were an inspiration to all of us, and I'm so glad that you left your legacy. If you haven't seen Wild Wild West, the pre-Will Smith era, you should check it out. It's very interesting. So cheers to you, sir, and I hope you are happy in heaven now, achieved your greater life in the beyond. Yeah, he really did serve really well, and I think that, you know, actors like him were role models for people like myself, and I think for a good reason. I latched onto those as a kid. We're all looking for role models, and I know many people, especially young kids, are trying to look at their role model in life and wonder, well, do you really want Donald Trump as your role model? You know, do you want Joe Biden as your role model? I mean, look at this Joe Biden here. This is the presidential candidate the Democrats came up with. Look at this. This is not a role model, folks. I don't care how you look at it. It's not what I would consider normal behavior. Yeah. Now you're looking at old shows. Well, good for you. Yeah, go have fun with your old show. Have you been to Pluto? They have an old show network online. It's pretty cool. Well, I don't see how anyone could normalize this behavior and not say that he touched a woman indecently. You know, there's a huge thing that woman had to go through that whole experience again, remembering it, and now look back on her time when he put his finger in her vagina. It's just so horrible. I can only imagine what she's going through. Here she is. Very beautiful young lady. Got somewhere near the smeller. We call him the smeller. He likes to smell women's hair for some reason, and I think that's become a kind of a thing with him. He smells children's hair. He seems to smell. Do we want that kind of guy as our president? I mean, seriously? Yeah. You and I were there. Joe Biden's accuser says he would drop out Let's take a look. National Post has a story. Well, let's be clear. I think Obama has endorsed him now that he's, behaved this way. So, when pressed on whether her allegations were politically motivated, Tara Reid said everything political, but added, this is deeper than that. Yeah, it is. It's like he hurt her feelings. Can you imagine a woman who's never been, involved with a man and looked up to a guy like him, a politician, and then he sticks his finger inside of her most private area? Former Senate aide Tara Reid said Thursday that presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden should acknowledge her claim that he sexually assaulted her is true and quit the 2020 presidential race. You and I were there, Joe Biden. Please step forward and be held accountable. You should not be running on character for the President of the United States, Reid said during her first on-camera interview since Biden appeared. Well, see, she certain was a pretty woman, but you can see how a man who's married would kind of be enticed by a woman of her beauty, but not to walk up to her and put his finger inside of her. That's not the way to approach a relationship, especially if you're committing adultery, right? Isn't that right, Joe? Yeah, it's not the right way to approach adultery and commit the mortal sin and burn in hell. Yeah, I would never commit adultery. I've chosen in my life a pathway of righteousness. And I've made that pact with my God. And I've chosen to be a good person. And I don't want to ever hurt anyone. Not many people in government have done that. Well, I don't say she's a nice person or a bad person or a beautiful person. I'm saying she was violated, okay? And what about these people? I mean, this was the wife of a top diplomat in the far corner. This is the woman from that movie, Desperate Housewives. This is a 13-year-old girl that he said to her, do you know how horny he got around her? And he said, you should see the film with his daughter, Ashley. And I don't know what he said to this Asian girl. It's just, but do we really want this kind of a guy as a president? I don't. So we've got to move forward toward a better future, folks, without this kind of corruption. Now, I'm not going to bring up Donald Trump's 23 allegations. We've been over that. I mean, my goodness. I could show you him. I show him to you as what he is, a man who's unrepentant and who's committed adultery, allegedly. But what's the point? I mean, we can go back and forth, left versus right. I think that's kind of the whole problem here. We're being manipulated into the left versus right paradigm, and we really shouldn't be there. But I really want to show you Joe Biden is saying that to that little girl. Yeah, I think it's important to at least try to hear it. It's very loud, so be prepared. What you're about to see could, be loud on your speakers. So let's take a look. I mean, we're not getting into the details right now of all these nitty-gritty things like Megyn Kelly interviewing James Alefantis and talking about a little girl with her legs or arms taped down. And we talked about that last night. We don't want to talk about that. It was a poor Asian child, yeah. Have you seen the film of Barack Obama traveling in a boat with James Clooney and a little Asian child? Have you seen that? That's a real weird video. I've got a clip of it. The QAnon people have actually done a little bit of work in this area. And as much as I don't agree with them on the points that they're making with Donald Trump, I do listen to their deep research into Pizzagate and Pedogate, they call it now. So, well, let's be clear. Here we go.
Times when he gently rearranges a young girl's hair and whispers in her ear, then rearranges some more. There's the morning pervy here as he leans in for a kiss.
Thank you. Thank you.
slide in here.
Okay, I usually say a few things for people who are deaf and can't and only read lips. So it makes the show more interesting for those people. And I have a couple relatives that are completely deaf. So yeah, and I don't use sign language to describe what I'm saying, and you're blind, I know. But for the deaf impaired, I give them a little bit of humor. I think it's kind of funny, actually. So you won't know exactly what I said just now. But you heard the presidential candidate, Biden, say that he wanted to, he was very horny around a 13-year-old, and you heard him talk about his film he made with Ashley, his daughter. So I went online looking for Joe Biden's film he made with Ashley. I'm just on an innocent search just to see what would happen, you know. Yeah, that's the trick. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, he made a film with Ashley by his, yeah, there you go. There it is. One-on-one with his Biden and his daughter. This is kind of cute. Ashley Biden, transformation is seriously turning heads. Let's take a look. What do you say we take a little travel through Videoland? I'm got audio. He's got audio.
Ashley Biden is more than just one of former Vice President.
Okay. This is some sort of a canned video that was made about Ashley and her dad. Yeah, I'm just wondering what kind of a film they made together. I'm curious. Just, you know, curiosity. It's Sustainable Saturday. We can do things on our own here.
Joe Biden's children, she is leading a path of her own as a social worker, activist, and entrepreneur. So how has she changed over the years? This is the stunning transformation of Ashley Biden. Even with the powerful family Ashley Biden has always had surrounding her, she still believes she led a pretty normal childhood. She would clip coupons alongside her mother before grocery shopping, act in school plays, and occasionally accompany her father, Senator Joe Biden, to work. However,
well, this is actually playing in his favor. I better go to the other one. Hang on. One-on-one with Ashley Biden.
Maddie is freaking amazing. Hey Leo, can you do me one favor? Can you turn this light down a little bit off her Ash? And we got her looking like she had one of them tans from like DR, and she got a nice tan. She got a tan. So Ash, welcome to the basement. What's going on?
Well, when I was a party girl, I used to hang out and really do a lot of things with guys, you know, and people told me I had a really weird reputation with a lot of guys. We actually had a guy come in here in 2010 and told us that she was really a party girl. That's all I can say. Yeah, I'm not going to in any way incriminate her beyond that. All right, so we're done with Biden. You want to move on, and I don't want to rake Donald Trump over the coals. You know, we could talk about his relationship with his daughter Ivanka being unnatural, the way he touches her and fawns on her and admires her beauty, and says if he wasn't her father, he'd be dating her. I don't want to make a big deal about that. I certainly don't want to talk about all the adulterous activities with Stormy Daniels allegedly happened, or Karen McDougal allegedly happening. I'd want to leave that completely off. Yeah, and I don't want to mention that Justice for Katie girl that claimed she was raped by Donald Trump at the age of 13. I don't want to talk about that. She dropped the charges because she said her life was threatened. Okay, so not going to mention that about Donald Trump. Nor the time when he was on that Bush, the Billy Bush bus to grabbing a woman's by the beep when all.
Okay, they took down about.
Okay, what you got? Project Veritas. Well, they took Project Veritas down. Whoa, are you serious? Take a look, folks. You know, I have a lot of respect for the people at Project Veritas. They're doing a good job. If they would just unleash themselves from the Trump addiction, that'd be great.
Okay, they took down about 6 videos today.
Wow.
This is the one I wanted to point out. The Project Veritas, CBS News, and the fake testing video. They're taking it down.
Taking it down, okay. All right, Bingo, if I don't get a donation, why would I want to go out and solicit some poor guy to get on my phone on my show right now and call me and have a real conversation? So what's the point? I mean, I put out as much as you put out, right? That's right. So we have Project Veritas down. What they did recently was pretty interesting. They listened to funeral directors, and they talked to people that were really, I would say, in the know, especially in New York. And they said, nobody's testing positive for COVID-19. Nobody. I mean, there are a lot of people that come in, and we're not really seeing a lot of people dying in New York. I mean, that's weird. And we talked about the 666, HR 666. You want to get back to that? I thought we already discussed the tracing program they're using. Yeah, there's a bill in the House right now called HR 666 for sure. It's going to be pushed in front of us rather soon. Yeah, we're dealing with Luciferians, folks. Whenever you decided to become, shall I say, agnostic, you forgot that you don't need to separate your belief of good and bad and somehow be non-compliant, or actually say you're not really wanting to make a decision about good and bad. And you go, well, I'm just going to be Switzerland here. I'm just not, I don't want, good and bad, whatever. A lot of people are like Switzerland. But when you decide to go good, you realize that you're in the right direction. When you decide to go bad, you realize you're in the wrong direction, and you got to find help. And a lot of these Luciferians who've committed bad things in their life or have big guilt trips, like Bill Gates, they'll do whatever they have to fulfill their goal in this world, even if it means throwing all of us under the bus. Yeah. Let's not forget the families related to the Rockefellers who killed 100 million people in 1918 with bad vaccinations. Let's not forget that. It can happen again. Yeah. I did a little magic trick. I disappeared. It's because I'm going to take you into my other room. Welcome to the 1,000-mile container fence room. We are up and running. We're good to go. We have a wonderful opportunity to build a wall with Mexico. And if you're a big supporter of that, I want you to know that Donald Trump has pretty much given up on the idea. Yeah. He's only built 133 miles of the fence that I would have had 1,000 built by now. Hello. No answer. Sorry. And I believe that we could build a container fence, considering our leaders just spent 2.3 trillion. Yeah, I think 2.3 trillion. That's 2,300 billion on rebuilding our country, but not $1 toward putting the fence up. Tells you how ineffective Donald Trump is. Yeah. Now we have 2,300 billion at our disposal. Many of you are getting some of that money right now with your $1,200 rebate check and your unemployment. But most of the money is going to be going to big corporations. I would have said 2.3 trillion, but I know that numbers are a little bit difficult for you. Many of you struggle with math. You're more into meth, like crystal meth. I know. Boy, Super Dave, you're getting off. Yeah, only 133 miles, and the fence that he made, he's going to be painting black, like the song Painted Black. That'll absorb more heat, and all the welds will break. Duh. Anyway, you can slip kilos of heroin through those fences. And here what I'm trying to do is put together a really simple plan where people can mingle and, hola, could you get me a chicken taqueria? Por favor, gracias. And I grab a chicken taqueria. Yummy, bueno, taquitos, bueno, yeah, sí. So you know, have a normal life down here in this situation. They'd even have laundromats and places to live. But we can't afford $1 billion when we're spending $2,300 billion right now on our country's rebuilding. Yeah, so Donald Trump didn't really sell the fence idea really well. He especially didn't even package it with the recent stimulus money. So you have to admit that Donald Trump is a total failure, right? Oh, we could definitely add electricity to the concertina wire up here. Oh, definitely. I was just looking at concertina wire. Where was I? Craigslist. Yeah, there was a big deal on concertina wire in my area. It was weird. It was like, why are they selling all this rolled barbed wire? Razor mesh, that's right. And it's stainless steel too. It won't rust very fast. We can even spray it with a special formula which is made of hydrophobic material, which resists all dust and corrosion. We can make those razor points permanently razor point, and they'll never lose their edge. COVID, you got COVID news? One moment, please. Okay, so concertina wire. Yeah, look at this. Free shipping too. Huh. Brand new. Oh yeah. I was just on Craigslist looking at this and going, wow, we ship nationwide. Boom. Look at that. Any imaginable wire you need for any fence possibility, it's all set to go. And you know, it lays really nice on top of, it would lay it really nice on top of those containers. So yeah, it's very affordable. Let's see what we got here. He wants $1,299 per pallet. And there's 80 rolls per pallet. It's a lot of wire, man. 50 feet per roll. So there's 400 feet per pallet. It's not bad. I'm sorry, 4,000 feet. Thank you. 4,000 feet per pallet. So it's like right under a mile. You can, for about $1,200. No, I'm sorry, $800. So a mile would be about $1,000 for a mile of concertina wire at that rate. And I can get them on speed dial right now. Okay, here's a guy who he said it's a hoax all along. Let's take a look.
At an individual level, the chance of anybody watching this dying of coronavirus are actually low. Over the whole epidemic, even if we have no vaccine, a high proportion of people will not get this. Of those who do get it, a significant proportion, the exact number is not yet clear, but it's certainly a significant proportion, have no symptoms at all. They get it without even realizing it. Of those who do get symptoms, the great majority, probably around 80%, depends on a number of factors we'll go on to, have a mild or moderate disease which is sufficient that they would want to go to bed and feel unwell in some cases. Some cases they can actually just carry on doing their ordinary activity, although we ask them not to, but they don't actually need to go to the doctor or medical services, and they make a full recovery. A minority have to go to hospital, but most of these actually, the principal thing they need is oxygen, and the great majority of those will go on just to survive. And then a minority have very severe disease, mainly ventilation, and of those, some sadly die with current treatment. But, important to stress, even in the most high-risk group, the majority of people who actually get this infection do not die.
It's good to know. You know, the majority of people did not suffer, and they did not die. It's no worse than a severe seasonal flu. That's what Dr. Fauci said in the New England Journal of Medicine, March 26. No worse than severe seasonal flu influenza, which is at a 0.1% death rate. That's a small amount of people that die of this. So you'd think that Donald Trump would have put a few $1 billion in that bill and signed it with the attached fence idea. So let me just say this, okay? Donald Trump doesn't care about a fence. He really doesn't, because he's working for the New World Order globalists, and they don't want walls between our countries. Now, all of you Republicans, you just heard that. I want you to think about that for a while, and how he didn't even fight for $1 billion or $2 or $3 billion in that fence. And it just sat there, and then they went ahead and approved all this money, and most of it's going to corporations. Think about that, okay? Thank you. You know, if you don't use it, you lose it. And with exercise, you've got to use it. So I recommend you do some exercises during the day, everybody. Otherwise, your body will atrophy. Okay, we got a couple new ones we're looking at here in the lineup. Thanks for the link.
Hey, folks.
We got 24 minutes with a plain truth. Let's take our planet back. I like that. A little hot on the mic there.
Truly, you're keeping your head about you. Hey, folks. Truly, you're keeping your head about you and not getting too frustrated, upset, angry, pissed off, disappointed, yada, yada. There's so many things we can be doing in the positive. We can be working with our children, getting them outside, getting them into the gardens, learning about biomagnetic healing.
Okay, well, I want to teach everybody about biomagnetic healing. All right. I've been working with magnets quite a bit, actually. I degauss myself every day. You get your you have that release by whacking yourself? Oh, you whack off. Okay, what does that mean? You thinking about that while just for a moment the wall is being built? Yeah, right, sure. Oh yeah, it's being built all right. The slat wall, you're right, yeah. He's going right. Donald Trump's slat wall is black. They're painting it black. Trump's pandemic priority is to paint the wall black. I guess he took it from Mick Jagger. Being he likes his song so much that at his rallies he got a cease and desist order from the Rolling Stones, but now he wants to just paint it black. I have a very good idea. What I want everyone to do is, now that we built the wall, sir, there's only 133 miles built. I know, but I want to paint it black. I have a very good idea. I was listening to this great rock and roll song by Rolling Stones. Painted Black, it's wonderful, it's incredible. Mike Pence and I were up late listening to the Painted Black. We said, this is really what we want to do. So look at these mindless nimrods who created a wall. Unbelievable. He assigns a dog breeder to the Corona task force, and he wants to paint the wall black. Nice. This guy's really got some incredibly stable genius ideas. Trump's black wall. I keep getting the black caucus coming up every time I say Trump's black wall. How about Trump's wall? That's better. There it is. Well, I think the rust is going to happen, and if we let it rust, it would be good. So we need to paint it black. Yeah, and black will absorb all the heat, and all the welds will all completely break and crack. Good idea, Donald. Yeah, and now take a look here and see how you can actually tell, literally, drug cartels, drugs could easily be passed through this wall. Here are a couple of drug dealers, or maybe they're just children, passing a couple of kilos through the wall. Hola, hey Eduardo, I want to give you 3 kilos to give over to our friends in the border near Nogales, man. Yeah, you're underage, and maybe they take you in, and we got some kilos to hand over. Those kids can almost go through those walls. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? But you see how easy you could pass kilos through there. And then, of course, you could easily climb up this wall, right? It wouldn't be that hard to figure out how to climb it. You get the money? You get the stuff? Could be a drug passageway. So Donald Trump, in his infinite stupidity, puts up a wall you can pass kilos through. Interesting. And all you need really is a big rock. You put a rock here. Not Iraq as in, Iraq, Iran. I'm talking about a rock. I'll make the rock black here so you could see. It'd be black rock. You can put a rock in there. And a rock right there. You jam a rock in. Jam a rock in there. Jam a rock right in there. Go up a little bit and jam a rock in right there. You can easily get rock. That's a perfect lever, a ladder to get up. No problem. Now those poor children are probably in one of Donald Trump's concentration camps now. That's the last we ever saw of them before they were sold into human trafficking. I think we have to assume that human trafficking is going on with these kids that Donald Trump has left in the border towns. Yeah. We don't know what happened to those guys down there, the cold case posse. Actually, I forget the group. Remember, Scissor Fight knows who I'm talking about. Yeah, the Backyard Brawl Gang. What happened to those guys? On YouTube. I want to check that out. Backyard Brawl. Yeah, apparently they got scrubbed off of YouTube. Let's see, child trafficking. Because there's like 100 veterans down there who are looking into... Yeah. Nothing on the internet. Huh. Those guys need some coverage, man. We haven't heard from those guys in a while. I wonder if he's okay, that pastor that took him in. You get a chance, look into that if you can. Oh, the guy supports Trump? Oh, okay. You dropped him. How can any of these people support Trump when Trump shut our economy down? I don't get that. I just don't get why anyone would support Trump right now when Trump said I had to shut it down. They told me to shut it down, so I shut it down. Why would they do that? Monkey see, monkey do. Okay, well, many of you don't really know a lot about my Safer Alternative Faraday Shield program for 5G, but as you know, I'm not trying to destroy or urge any one of you to hurt the 5G network. In fact, I think that the recent fires in the UK and New Zealand were a result of over voltage. Yeah, it's very likely they were running too much voltage in there trying to fry the population with microwaves that they burned the towers up. That's my theory. You don't have to believe it or not. It's your choice. Okay, here's this channel. Okay, thanks. How can anyone support Trump at this point? He's such a jerk. Okay. So this guy actually has 1.8 million subscribers, dude. He went mainstream. Oh, he's totally mainstream now. Let me see how many clicks he's had through on just a 4-hour video. 87 views. Nah, he's not making too much money. Let's go back a few days, see where he's at. No, he's not making that much money. He's just mindlessly supporting Trump. Interesting. Thank you for giving me his channel. I'll check it out. If you vote for Joe Biden at this point, you're voting for a complete, utter sham of a president. A guy can barely even speak. He struggles with his words. He stammers half the time. It's pathetic, actually. You know, a lot of you Republicans want to talk about Michael Flynn's DOJ reversal. I don't believe that what we're seeing right now is any type of vindication. We know that this man admitted he was working for Russia and was an oligarch working for Russia. We know that. I don't care what the government does with a known act of espionage. In fact, to this point, I have to enlarge the case and say, well, why did they dismiss a case that was already adjudicated? Doesn't that seem like double jeopardy? And there really doesn't seem to be a lot of evidence that would overturn the case. What I'm getting is there's just a general desire by William Barr to do whatever Russia tells him to do. Remember, William Barr is working for the same Russian oligarchs that paid for Trump's election to get rigged. And we do know that the Trump's election was rigged. The Mueller report said that. So let's not kid ourselves. We also know that Mueller repeated that the dossier was used to blackmail Trump, meaning the PP tape. We heard that as witness testimony from Robert Mueller. So we also know that that is in there, and they're keeping all of that secret. So say a foreign power is using a blackmail tape to blackmail our president. That's considered top secret for a lot of reasons because it makes our nation vulnerable. Well, what makes it more vulnerable is to ignore the fact that that happened. So here we have a nation with a president that is taking orders from Vladimir Putin because he's being blackmailed with a PP tape, and we're supposed to think that Donald Trump is not part of the New World Order? Really? Seriously? You really want to believe that? Okay. Well, Rodney, I think you're the only one who's sexually attracted here. Yeah, you're going to have to give that up. You're the nut. Donald Trump has put us in a very vulnerable position shutting down our economy, and you're like, well, I think that the governors should open up their state, you know? If Donald Trump had leadership ability, he would tell people it's unconstitutional to keep people from their right to assemble, but you're not that smart, are you? You retardicans have no clue. You don't even understand your own constitution. Otherwise, you wouldn't be waltzing toward this, or this. Or in my case, the 5G plus is a plus, not a negative. Okay, we'll switch it off. You are. You are Rodney. That's right. Hey, we're going to kick you out of the room because we don't really need you in here. I need real chatters. And I'm going to go back to my DLive crew because I think they're a lot more intelligent. Hi, from UK, Grub Screw. Well, welcome, man. You're smart. Hi. You're terrorists at this? You're terrible at this? Real build? Blinding bias Trump says what they want to hear. I know. Monkey see, monkey do. And especially they don't see or hear or say anything to Trump supporters. I could just make fun of Trump supporters all night long. That would be fun. Born in the USA. So here's H.R. 666, which Donald Trump will, I'm sure, sign into law. H.R. 6666 is known for having pushed luciferase in the vaccines. Even though the vaccines, they say, are not ready, they're already mounting them and putting them in containers, and they're putting them in vans, heading them to your area. Because all along, they've been wanting to inject anything they can in you to kill all of the population. Let's not kid ourselves. They've already said they want to depopulate by 90%. We know that. So if you want to think that that's not happening, go right ahead and be like all the Jews that said, well, we should go to the work camps and maybe at Treblinka, the Führer is right. Arbeit macht frei. And many Jewish people went to Treblinka thinking that work makes freedom. Well, you're probably like those Jews who just want to prounce your way all the way to Donald Trump's COVID IDing and whatever else they've got waiting for you. Maybe you're one of those kind of people. Have you ever considered yourself like the Jewish people that were killed in the Holocaust? Because I think it'd be terrible. I would not want to be one of those people carted off to see the death because of Adolf Hitler. What if I told you that that is exactly what's going to happen with this COVID IDing? Either you do this and get ID'd, and you prolong your death, which will be a slow, painful death of cancer injected in your cells, or you say no to the whole thing and get sent to the FEMA camps where you'll be disposed of as being mentally ill or something. That's your choice. Or you can vote for a third party and still help me promote myself right now. Get busy and start promoting me online. Because if we want to sit here as an inactive group of couch potatoes, which, you know, we could be, I don't really mind. I think we have to ask ourselves, is that really what we want, though? Okay, well, maybe you want to be killed again. Sure. I would not want that for anybody, any of you. Let's talk about Skynet. According to ArsTechnica.com, the NSA's Skynet program may be killing people, thousands of innocent people right now. Let's take a look. Ridiculously optimistic machine learning algorithm is complete bullshit, says an expert. In 2014, the former director of both the CIA and NSA proclaimed that we kill people based on metadata. Now, a new examination of previously published Snowden documents suggests that many of these people may have been innocent. Last year, The Intercept published documents detailing the NSA's Skynet program. According to the documents, Skynet engages in mass surveillance of Pakistan's mobile phone network and then uses a machine learning algorithm on the cellular network's metadata of 55 million people to try and rate each person's likelihood of being a terrorist. Wow. So they've been using this to plot the trajectory of the UAV, the unmanned aerial vehicle that can be devastating and kill people with a targeted strike. Welcome to America, New World Order style. Yeah, that's what they're doing. So if you want to stop that, third party is the answer, okay? All I can say is, if you can't understand the need to unite the country in the middle of the political spectrum, maybe you'll understand the need to save your ass. Because there are people that want to eat your ass. Namely, Alex Jones. Oh, they're not getting me down. I'm doing great, Snack Attack. You heard 1.4 million people have died from getting needed medical units because it is essential? No, you're wrong. Actually, our statistics show opposite that. Take this article right here. This is strange. The total U.S. deaths in March of 2020 is actually down 15% over an average prior 4 years. So you're wrong there, buddy. You are wrong. Bing, 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 bing. This will verify you're incorrect. You have been removed from the show due to your incorrectness. You're going to write me in? Okay, thank you. You can stay in the show then. No big deal. But yeah. Alex Jones, where are you? Oh, Alex. You're not going to believe this. I think it's in downloads. Nope. Ah, yes, okay. Here's the lady I told you about yesterday, Carol Baker.
The battle is being fought. One family, one physician, one health center. That's why we're doing as well as we are. We're talking about the minority and strategies against the minority. So I have the solution. Every study published in the last 5 years, when you look at vaccine refusers. I'm not talking about, well, hesitants, most of them we can talk into coming to terms, but refusers. We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States because Houston is the most diverse city in the entire United States.
Being honest, I'll eat your ass. I will. I will eat your ass. The point is, I'll eat your ass. Have you thought about that yet? Because I'm somebody that eats your ass.
Okay, so she just said that she wants to get rid of all the white people because they object to the vaccinations. She does. She's a medical doctor working at Baylor, and she actually said that. Yeah. I don't think vaping has killed anybody, man. What are you talking about? Snack attack? You really believe that vapors... You know, there are more people dying of cigarette smoke. If you could pull your head out of your ass, that would be great. We can talk. Just take your head out of your ass, and then we can talk. All right? I don't mind. I can't smell your head. Just pull it out of your ass. All right. Well, the fact is, you can acknowledge this right now. People are getting better from not going to the hospital. Seriously. The hospitals are empty, yet people are getting better. Hallelujah. Dr. Fauci, what do you have to say about that? What is going on? After shutting down the government and killing the greatest economy in the world due to deathly estimates from specialists like the Imperial College, which has already been debunked now, about the coronavirus, the data is showing that this may be one of the biggest mistake or a hoax. So if you see real data like this where total deaths have gone down since this time period and we're all sitting here with our mask, this is mind control. I submit to you, Master. Take me to my next stage. This also anonymizes us too. This takes us our identity away. You know, I walked around a store. I don't even know who I saw. I just saw a bunch of masks today at Costco. I have no idea who I was walking among. I had no way of touching the people. I didn't get a master's degree. I don't need one. You should be in school. How dare you? This is all wrong. Well, I'm not really worried about it. You know, the fact that people are getting better from not going to the hospital, I think we could shut down the hospitals. I was talking about this last night around the same time period where I shut the show down at that point, but I think I should talk more. I'm working on those right now, Misanthropy. Yeah, that's my project tonight, is open up my Spreadshirt account and try to make it work for me. I'm doing great. I love black people and Hispanic people and Asian people. And I even like white people, despite what that woman doctor from Baylor said. I do. I'm not in any way favoring white people, though. Do you think I favor white people? These are the people that don't like people. You want to hear something really weird? This new coronavirus, which Bill Gates has a patent on, you know, he descended from the John D. Rockefeller group. You know that, right? The people that killed 100 million people in the Spanish flu from bad vaccines. Well, Bill Gates actually, he has a higher purpose. He has a goal to depopulate. Think about it. That's pretty heavy duty. I did date a black woman. Yeah, she didn't really do anything for me. I think she stayed the evening with my Jewish roommate. You're not allowed to talk about that ever in our show. There is no fourth American party that I could care less about. There was a group that tried to formulate one, not knowing that this third party is the only way to go. But anyone who creates another party, you might as well just take and splinter the whole concept into a million pieces. I'm not an anarchist. I'm a statist. I believe in America. I don't have a problem admitting that I believe in America. I'm not an anarchist, nor do I believe in violence. Well, it's not that she didn't like me. It's just that she liked my Jewish roommate more. And there's a kind of connection between Jewish ugly guys, short Jewish ugly guys, and black women. I don't know what it is. I've seen it happen time and time again. So many couples, interracial couples, are Jewish young short guys that are ugly, and really pretty black women. I'm not stereotyping people. It's an actual fact. Yeah. I didn't have a problem with it. I was glad he found love for the evening. Chocolate-covered love. I could care less, actually. But the reality is, this man is obviously doing some pretty dark things, and we don't really know exactly what he did with Jeffrey Epstein. I wish we knew. And the real issue is, okay, we don't know a lot about this. Wouldn't it be better if we knew more about their relationship? He was good friends with Jeffrey, and they had a plan to, I guess, help each other financially. So I'm not really sure. Bill put matching money into the Jeffrey Epstein Human Genome Project at MIT. I believe they got about $14 million combined. But that's a little weird, and you got to wonder, what was Bill Gates doing with a known pedophile who he had already been arrested and been released when Bill went to his house? Yeah, he'd actually served 13 months in jail, a small sentence for trafficking over 40 little girls as child prostitutes. What was Bill Gates visiting him for, and what did he encounter? I mean, we need to know this. And why is Bill Gates doing this horrible thing, pushing for mass vaccinations when they have never worked throughout history, as evidenced by the 100 million people that died as a result of his benefactor, John D. Rockefeller? This guy killed 100 million people with a bad vaccine in 1918. Are you going to let them repeat this nightmare? Are you going to be that stupid to let them repeat the nightmare right before our very eyes? Are you? Because I'm not. I'm building a third party, and we're going to stop these bastards because the two-party system is owned. Yeah, I don't like racism either. If you don't like the fact that black women like Jewish guys, gee, I'm sorry for you. That's too bad. People should print this and carry it around. What? Ooh, that's kind of cool. Oh, that's cool, yeah. I am exempt from all regulation mandating face mask usage in public. Wearing a face mask poses a health risk to me under ADA, HIPAA, and I'm not required to disclose my medical condition to anyone. Department of Justice ADA violation information line. Organizations and business can be fined up to $75,000 of the first ADA violation and $150,000 for any subsequent violations. Attention, government agents. You're right. We should all print that up. Let me post it in all the rooms. Exemption, I'll call it. Love boat. Well, we know that DLive is being hit pretty hard. Yeah, we saw that happening. We know that we're going to have to find another network. After only about a month on DLive, we're going to have to expand out. We'll still keep our DLive program, but it's completely bogus what's happening. I've had the same number of viewers for the past 2 hours. I don't believe it. There's something wrong. Thanks for that link. Laguna Beach, California protesters defy the order.
Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
Okay, so does government fear us or we fear government? When the people fear the government, tyranny has found victory. The federal government is our servant, not our master. So true. And you know, when they wrote the Declaration of Independence, they said that our government is here to serve us in the pursuit of happiness. I don't consider forced vaccinating a population and violating their flesh and their religious beliefs, because I believe in the I believe in Leviticus 19:28. I'm just telling you, I'm not a religious person, but I believe in Leviticus 19:28. And it says, and I quote, "Do not cut your bodies for the dead or put tattoo marks on yourselves. I am the Lord." Now, if you want to read this, you can certainly read it all you want, but as far as I'm concerned, this COVID-19 and ID 2020 is a gross breach of our religious beliefs, if indeed you are religious. I'm not. I'm spiritual. but I still believe in this as one of my core elements I live by. I don't have any tattoos on my body, nor do I welcome the idea of being stuck with a needle and injected. You're saying you can't get a virus from the air? Really? So you're one of those people that believe in the exosome theory versus the virus theory. You know, it's the New Living Translation. Do not cut yourselves. If you are a sole believer in the exosome theory, then why don't you just go live inside of yourself and never ever breathe? It's not an either-or theory. They're both equally applicable to the earth that we live in. Viruses can exist and so can exosomes. God. You know, one of the problems with disinformation and information, it's hard to know the difference. Anyway, you want to go ahead and believe that there is no such thing as a virus, then how would you explain all these people getting it from contact with each other? How would you explain that? I just rinsed my face off with a little black tea and witch hazel and lemon. My own little concoction of anti-sanitizer. I'm Mr. Clean. Whoa. I'm supposed to clean up all the time, making myself effervescent. Little dabble, do you? Okay, let's move on. We got the mother arrested and the child ripped from her body. I don't really want to go there, but I do want to play it later tonight. So I'll put that in the lineup. Things have finally slowed down in on internet land. It's good to know. I'm going to print that out. I think I'm going to make one of those exemptions at Office Max. Seriously, I really like that. Scissor Fight, thank you. The exemption printout. I might even laminate it. Yeah, I might put a dirty picture on the back side so that it's always good for something, right? I'm kidding. Yeah, so Trump really went all out on the wall this week. He made a big decision. Oh, I think that we're going to paint it black. Everything's got to be painted black. I think his whole world is being painted black. If he continues to drop in the polls, Joe Biden will win even if he is in an Alzheimer's clinic. Mr. President, it's time for your meds. Mr. President. Huh? Who? What? Well, they say Ronald Reagan was ready for Alzheimer's a year before he ended his term. He used to walk around not even knowing who Nancy was. I saw some woman in the hallway that looked an awful lot like Nancy. But she died many years ago. Yeah, Trump can't even read basic words. I know. You know, you are smarter than Trump. I know you are. You all are. Donald Trump had like a 4th grade reading level when he started. He's up to about a 5th grade now. Yeah. It's not that Donald Trump has Down syndrome or he's retarded. We all know that. It's not that, we have a president who's completely gone mentally. It's the fact that he likes to take drugs that bothers me. And doctors have looked at his eyes and found the pupil dilation to be rather unusual. It's not unusual to do Adderall in the day. Da, 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 da. They say he's into Adderall. I don't know. I can't prove it. I don't know. It just looks to me like he's higher than a kite. Buzzed? Yeah. Well, you can take it or leave it. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, the big idea, we're going to paint the wall black. So tonight we'll start our show off, our extra long show tonight with Painted Black again. And a tribute to the late Little Richard. Yeah. I really liked his music, and I think we can listen to a Little Richard tonight in honor of his dying. Yeah. He's passed away, everybody. The flamboyant man of rock and roll, Wildman has died at age 87. Richard Penniman, known as Little Richard, who combined the sacred shouts of the black church and the profane sounds of the blues to become a rock and roll pioneer, has died at the age of 87 and will travel to the afterlife with the Lord himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we will give a tribute to Little Richard today. We will listen to his music and will revel in his greatness. We will say that this man has been a great man, and we will look upon him as an idol to all the people, including white folk, who admired his work. I know I died recently, but I'm back in the form of David, and I'm ready to give you a fun time tonight. So you all hang out, alright? Yeah, it's Little Richard. He's one of the greatest rock and rollers of all times. No big deal, really. I mean, maybe you don't care. What if he was using the black EMF shielding paint? I don't know. I don't think Donald Trump is even tuned into EMFs. Pun intended. I don't even think that's on his radar. Pun intended. I love it when I do pun intended, you know? Yeah, mind control is a hell of a drug. You know, I don't normally go out with a mask, except all the time now. And this won't stop a virus, you know that, right? It will stop microfibers and nanos. Nuisance fibers it'll stop, and nanoparticles. So I basically wear it to keep the nanofibers from entering my lungs. You know, the smart dust that they drop in the airplanes with chemtrails. You know, the ones you can see in the sky that many of you are in denial thinking it's a contrail? Yeah, those. McPusler says, your show has not been in the menu at DLive for the past 5 days. I've searched twice a day, morning and evening, and nothing. Exactly, thank you. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, let me see if I can troubleshoot this. Let me go off and on just for a second. I knew that DLive was doing this to us. I'm going to go back on the menu and maybe open up the show again. Yeah, we knew that they got money to stop us. David, a mask good to wear outside, or is it a mind control device? I told you it's both. How is it not a mind control device? They're forcing us into bondage. They're dehumanizing us. They're anonymizing us so we don't even have a face. This is a ritual that many Satanists engage in. They always try to anonymize their victim. So right now, you're the future victim of what will be called genocide someday. Yeah, Mark is paying DLive to censor me. We know that. Thank you. You are basically, at this point, because you don't want to pursue a third party and stop these people, you're basically a future victim. So if you want to go with that idea, then go right ahead. These people are up to the same old thing they were up to 100 years ago, 102 years ago. They are planning on vaccinating and spreading a disease among the population. But this time, they're not going to kill 100 million people. They're going to kill 6 or 7 billion people. That's their program. Okay, now tell me, am I in the list? I want to know. I am now. Okay, I'm in the list now. I instantly get 10 people. Well, I'll do that more often. I think there's some sort of a stall going on where they can stop me and then they can leave me there. I'll see what I can do, or maybe I just outed them and now they're letting me get noticed again. Because I've been sending out all kinds of streamers to people that, you know, would like to hear about our show.
Chef knife.
Donald Trump was very concerned about the, kind of recap what we talked about today. He was very concerned about the 66% of the people in New York that are definitely coming down with COVID-19 in their houses while they're social distancing. Listen to his words right here.
No, because, well, then it would happen anyway, whether you did go back to work or whether you didn't go back to work. In fact, I saw a statistic come out of New York yesterday that was pretty strange, that most of the cases are coming from apartments and coming from homes. What was that all about? I think they said 66%. Did you see that? That was given by Governor Cuomo, that they're coming out of the home, right? So it can happen anywhere. It's a very elusive enemy, a vicious enemy, an elusive enemy, and I think more importantly than anything with this one, it's probably the most contagious enemy that anybody has seen.
Well, you can believe it's the contagious enemy, but he's not really asking the question, why did 66% of the people get the COVID-19 by sitting in their house? Why did they get in that predicament? And the answer, very simply put, is they may be suffering from something else. Now, a doctor in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who studied cellular tissue was onto something very important, and it was a breakthrough. And some people believe that he studied the tissue of cadavers of people that died from this disease and found out that it was actually radiation burns that they had suffered from in their lungs. Now, that doctor, as you know, previously I told you, was killed in what they're claiming is a murder-suicide, but there doesn't seem like there's any investigation going on. So it's very likely that man was onto something. His primary field of study, the biologist, Dr. Liu, his primary field of study was the cellular tissue aspects, the interstitium, and the lung tissue. Well, I just did that. I just took that link and I found me at the bottom. Keep looking down below. I'm at the very bottom of that channel. But I'm pretty sure that Mark gave money to DLive to stop us. Yeah, when I go to the list, I'll show you. I'll do it right now in real time. I'm looking at the list of DLive right now. There I am right there, see? So you don't see that when, so they're shadow banning me. They're making it seem like I'm on the list and I'm not. I find that hard to believe, but check it out again. Make sure you're, because if that's the case, then I'm being shadow banned. I showed you I was on there. Well, they're sitting at home. They don't get the virus. I'm telling you, there's something else going on. You see, right now in New York, they are ramping up a system that has just been put out there over the past 5 years. They've been building the backbone of the 5G network. And New York City has a 5G nightmare that unfolded many years ago. There's a few towers all around the subway entrances, and here's a story I'll show you. The city of New York, even de Blasio, has been trying to get more information, but the Department of Defense won't tell them what this thing is. And this very likely could be weaponized because the government won't actually tell us how safe it is. It's got to be something else.
It lights up really nice.
Jose Lugo says these tall metal towers quickly popped up after Brooklyn Battery Tunnel.
Okay, so take a look at these tall metal towers. They're all around New York right now. And no one knows how safe they are. That's the problem. No safety tests done whatsoever. And the government's been stonewalling, the DOD's been stonewalling New York City about all the questions they've had about it.
Toll booths came down.
We don't really know what's the purpose of this.
It's a $100 million MTA project full of secrecy, with 18 of these for the tunnels and bridges. So what are they exactly?
You say you can't comment to me?
That's the MTA's man in charge of bridges and tunnels, Cedric Fulton.
There you go. So tunnels and bridges, the guy who wants to find out more can't even find out. Check this out.
Our questions.
Not even later. Can we talk to you about it, or can I make
Some MTA board members, including New York City Transportation Commissioner Polly Trottenberg, say they know too little about the towers, even with about half the money spent and some of the towers up.
A lot of the board members felt like they didn't have all the details they would have wanted, myself included.
Residents who say they suspect there is much more going on with these towers than meets the eye wonder, will they ever know what's going on inside them?
I'm going to guess it's probably not just a decoration.
It's a bit mind-boggling that the MTA is approving $100 million for what appears to us to be big decorative pylons.
John Caney is leader of the watchdog group Reinvent Albany.
What we're asking for is transparency from the MTA.
We demanded answers from MTA Chairman Joe Loda.
Some of your own board members say they don't know the specifics.
The base of these new pieces that are going up include whatever fiber optics are necessary for those homeland security items.
In other words, anti-terror technology. Could it one day include facial recognition?
All right, so whatever they are, we don't know, and we won't find out anytime soon, and they won't tell anybody either. So that means that they could easily weaponize this stuff. Now, there are other mitigating factors that I'm sure we could add to the list of reasons why people could be getting them while they're staying at home and getting no visitations from anyone, and using as hand sanitizers every time they open the door. Most people who are trying to stay clean and avoid this disease are doing everything possible. So you have to factor that in, that they're doing everything possible. There's only one other alternative, and that is maybe there's a physical problem with the electromagnetic frequencies in the area. Don't you think it would be prudent for us to check the RF frequencies and electromagnetic frequency levels of those poor people that are in New York right now before we just dispense with the idea that it could be a radiation burn? Don't you think it's in our best interest to check all angles to verify? And what if that doctor who was just allegedly killed by somebody he knows, although we don't even know who that person is, a murder-suicide, what if that doctor really was studying the cellular tissue and said, no, this is a radiation burn? And then they just decided to silence him. I'm on the link. Do you see the link? Do you see me in the link, Final Dream? Can I assist with a cargo container Oregon chamber? You know, I have a couple of my own. Yeah, I have barometric pressure systems that I keep just to keep myself looking normal. Yeah, but Oregon chambers are kind of new to me. It is getting weird, yeah. So, can he see it? Final Dream, are you checking? Because you can't see it? Well, I think it's very likely that 5G is out there for information sharing. I'm not disputing that. With the new cable for the 5G is this thick, and most of it, this section right here, we don't know what it is. It's dark fiber. Oregon is a pseudoscientific concept variously described as an esoteric energy or hypothetical accumulator. So, yeah, I can work on that. I can also develop a tachyon generator if you have a need for one. Are you planning on shifting dimension to another time? You'll need a tachyon generator. Yeah, I've got the blueprints for one. Time travel. I can't share it here in the show, but yeah. I didn't work on the blueprints myself. Another guy worked on them, so I can help explain them to you, though. Yeah. Are you interested in building Oregon chambers yourself? When I search for a non-logged in account, you are not there under news. There you go. Yeah, I'm not there under a lot of things, McFoosler. I definitely think the D-Live's been blocking me, no question about it. But we will be opening up other angles. Okay, your Sky Sled. We'll be opening up other angles of people to get chat. I'm going to get a chat restreamer. I'm probably going to have about 20 chat shows by the time the election rolls along. Well, maybe 10. We'll shoot for 10. So yeah, they don't want to tell us what's in these towers. They don't want to say why people are getting strange red burns on their skin, which, by the way, is non-existent in any form of influenza. Rashes are not normal with influenza of any kind, even coronavirus. You can watch with DLive. That's a good utility. We could use it for that. But I think these look pretty ominous, these phallic symbols in New York. And I'm sure there are other things all around the country that we have to look at. The fact of the matter is they're using this time while we're all hiding like little scared rabbits to install very dangerous things with massive field radiation. All the while not doing any safety testing on this at all. Lot lizard, wow, 5G cooks bacon at 100 feet if you leave it for 7 days? I wouldn't doubt. How the hell did you get in this show? I didn't unban you. Nah, something's weird's going on. How did you get unbanned? You must know Mark. Oh, that's right. Mark gave you $4 million already. I see your bank account. Cincinnati, that's an interesting place to put your money. Ha! You don't think anyone can see where your money is? God, Lot Lizard, we've already got your number. You're going to be in a cell number 425 at Supermax the rest of your life. Mark is not allowed to let Lot Lizard in this room. No way. So these are weird, stealthy things they're putting up all around us. And I got to tell you, we are in a bad strait if we have to experience this stuff the rest of our life. Well, you do that, Clay 2. Yeah, you just figure this whole thing out yourself. Clay 2 and I go back way back to Blog TV days. He came in recently to tell me some weird things about what's going on behind the scenes. Hey, well, we've had a pretty good day of survival and sustainability. For all of you surface dwellers who want to survive, I would recommend keeping your windows closed, except to let in the fresh air now and then. Like, it's getting hot now, so I told Sarah we're going to have to cool the house a little bit. And I even bought an air conditioner. One of those inside air conditioners. All right. I don't know. Your light is probably affected by my psychic energy, Clay 2. I'm tracking your location. No, it's me. It's really me, Clay 2. I'm tracking you. You have a green light near you. You're in Utah. Wow. Okay, well, don't ask how I know these things. I just do. Okay? Thanks. I'm hardwired into the entire internet. All right, so we've reached the end of our show. Thank you for coming in and participating. I will say goodnight for now. Make that hempcrete bulletproof. Absolutely. I'm liking that idea. Get your organically grown potted plants growing like vegetables. I urge everybody to start growing some stuff for the winter. If you even get to the winter, if we even have food by the winter. I'm working on my biodome, and I've got this beautiful blonde babe sitting there on a bed. I'm going, no, I'm involved with a brunette. Sorry. I'm not going to do it. You can see me through the light? Cool. I'm there now. Yeah, so many of you are right on the edge of just getting through life, and let's just say that if you breathe the air outside, it will build your immunity, but you will be breathing in dangerous dust that's called smart dust. It is RFID chips that they've been deposited in the atmosphere by the Luciferians. I'm not some really weird religious guy. I just happen to be a very spiritual guy. I have a kind of a spiritual connection. Let's just put it that way. And I believe that we do need to protect ourselves from these Luciferians who are pushing this weird luciferase. It's in the vaccines. So HR 6666, which is an actual bill right now, the tracing bill that's being put forth, I want you to look up these things as your bookmark project for tonight, okay? All of you can get a little project till tomorrow because we're on a 14-hour per day schedule. Look up these things right here. Luciferase and HR 6666, which happens to be the real bill that they're setting up right now to force COVID test all of you. And this happens to be the product and the tracer elements that they want to put in every vaccine. I'm not kidding. I'm a good person, and I would never ever want any of this for you. I'm the only candidate right now who's openly saying I will not force vaccinate the population. Okay? That alone should get you to vote for me, but I've got all these other great reasons why you need to vote for me in 2020, okay? So thanks for coming in, everyone, and participating. It's always almost a daily slam of information sharing, but hey, at least we have this time to do that, and you got 3 more hours to watch the show, 2.5 more hours to watch the show and get videos that you haven't seen that are not presented on the mainstream media. Yeah, pretty good. Mr. Wright signing off. Take care. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. for another day 56 of the Endless Shut-In Show, it seems. I just hope Donald Trump lets us all get back to normal, because that's all he has to do. I want everyone to get back to normal. That's all he has to say. It's crazy, but he's not doing it because he's working for the New World Order, a group of globalists that have hijacked our country. You want our country back? You vote for me, Mr. Wright.
Cause you make me melt away. You're Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true. You spin my world around, 'cause you're the peace I find. We found you sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat. 'Cause you make me melt away. Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true.